everyone. Welcome to Dropped Frames. Apologies for being a little bit late. If you're watching live, if you're on the VOD, we're right on time. We got BurkeBlack today. How's it going, Burke? What's up in Pirate Land? Who you stealing from? Where are you robbing? Where are you at?
Where's your booty?
Okay, that's a little forward there, Co. You typically wait till
tell us about your booty.
It's like second date.
All I can tell you was that I've been getting ready, and I've got a new emotes coming, new channel alerts coming. I hired a pirate band.
Whoa.
Who are scheduled for the launch of Skull and Bones in March. I can't wait. I got everything planned for that.
Nice.
I even got the band. They can only show up in March, and I already prepaid them, so they're going to be back there playing the.
They've already got their money, right? There's no refunds.
They already got their money.
Nice.
There's no refunds or anything like that, and I paid for everything, so I'm ready to go for March.
Nice.
I can't wait. I'm ready.
Well, by the way, I wasn't laughing at you. I just saw when you said Skull and Bones, Co's face was just so good.
Well, let's get to the news today, guys. Skull and Bones has been delayed.
Oh, yeah.
Till 2024. Probably. Maybe.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, wait a second. It's his first fiscal year. That's April is a part of that.
True.
We got
breaking news from later this year. Skull and Bones has been canceled.
I don't know how they have it
on me.
Like how man, it's wild that like they haven't canceled it yet. With how many times that's like I guess it's because it's so much money. Yeah.
Like
it's wild.
Yeah.
It's the sunk cost fallacy.
Played the game. It's actually fun. It's like they just, get some money, guys. Like like whatever polishing you got to do it. But the game is actually really cool. It's just, I don't know if it's going to be like this game's going to last a month or so, in general, but it's a blast to just jump in and have some fun.
Yeah. Well, they had the live stream the other day. Co, you said they had to put it into sub only chat. Why?
I believe that's I was talking to my mods about it, and they said that they had to put it in sub only mode. And what's even weirder is I don't know if they have a sub button.
Oh, sure, yeah. Was it on /Ubisoft?
I think so. I'm not entirely sure.
It might have been like their shield mode or whatever that they activated.
I think the issue now though is it's kind of like there's some Star Citizen stuff going on with it where the game is transcending what it is and becoming more of a meme. And I think that a lot of people really enjoy playing into that. So I was not there myself, but my guess is just, all the normal stuff was probably becoming a bit much. They popped it in there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. A chap, one of my mods says it was on /Ubisoft and sub mode was enabled with no sub button. They basically turned chat off.
Oh no.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds about right. Who knows what I know I went to go look at the
turn
VOD.
Chat off?
That's how you do it. You put it in sub mode and no one can sub. I know. Like that's kind of
I went to look at the VOD of that broadcast and I don't know how early it was that they went into sub only mode or if they just if Twitch has the ability to just kill a chat on a VOD because there was no chat. There was nothing on the VOD.
That's probably why they probably kicked it in pretty early then in that case.
Yeah. It must have been fairly early on that. So
a chatter is saying chat has been off for all of their events for a long time now.
Oh, okay. That would make sense given all of the Ubisoft stuff that has happened over the past 20
So probably don't want to moderate it.
He just stream on Twitch and just turn off chat.
Yeah, I guess.
Honestly, that's that makes sense to me because big game developers, they just probably don't want to mess with the moderation of it, because how people come in and they'll just spam some horrible stuff in chat.
It's a full-time job. I mean, it's like someone has to be sitting there for the entirety of the stream. And
I imagine they just be just disable it. So we're just here to advertise our stuff and that's it. We're not here to be part of the Twitch system of moderating chat and the memes and all that. They just I get it. I get they would do that.
Yeah.
Especially with all the stuff surrounding the company and the game.
The game,
I bet that's just a lot easier to do.
For sure.
I'm reminded of
they had to make a calculated decision on if it would benefit or not benefit their brand and company to have it on, and they decided that it just wasn't good to have chat.
Yeah.
As I am a reference machine, I am reminded of that episode of South Park where Cartman hires Butters to filter out all the negative comments that he gets on his Twitter, and Butters is just sitting there He's got like bags under his eyes. He's been puking because everybody's just so like awful and rancid. It's just like that person at the Ubisoft desk, like moderating their chat, is just like, what the in my mom's what?
Yeah.
Just turn it off.
Okay,
turn it off.
That happened. You give a comical reference. That happened this past week with a League of Legends community member on Twitter who just had a kid and got death wishes on their newborn baby because of a bad cutscene. So like that shit exists on the internet. People are awful.
Stupid.
Turns out that people are indeed awful.
That is actually horrific.
Yeah. Over a cutscene release, FYI.
Oh my god, dude.
Pretty insane stuff. I think those tweets are still up for anyone that wants to go view them for some morbid reason. But yeah. Anyways, Burke, how's it going with you? Everything good? What's been happening in Burkeville?
Just a second ago. No, I'm good. Everything's a blast, man. Just having a lot of fun otherwise.
Yeah.
We're here to bring you down. We're here to turn your smile upside down there, Burke. Welcome to the show.
That's right. The stream can't see it because of your green screen. I guess I could toggle it off, but I think you've had some updates to the background. You got some stuff in there now.
Looks good, man.
Oh, you mean these things?
Yeah, you got some audio panels in there, but that thing behind you is also, what is that thing there? Yeah, is that supposed to be
blocking your
else?
monitor, right?
Yeah.
I think it's blocking
There's a monitor and a camera right there.
Okay.
So, like, when I do green screen bits where it's like, I am walking out on the ship, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, I could see myself, because I have to play off myself. I'm one of those kind of streamers. I have to look at myself so I can react. And I can see myself, and then, you know, da-da-da-da-da-da. They never see it. They never know it's there. And then if I do VR, I just close it.
Oh,
so it's out of my way.
That is so
I don't
nice.
get anything.
So wait,
Very
when
nice.
you're doing the bits, like when you're walking on and stuff, are we seeing the wall to your right now, or the wall behind you? So the camera
you're seeing
is
this
like
wall.
He's got another camera over there.
Okay, cool.
All this is greened out, and I just come out here and I'm like, welcome to the ship, blah 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 blah, and nobody's away. I have a. You can't see it either, but there's a camera or a light right here as well.
Oh, up above on the ceiling?
Because I could never get this side bright enough for the green screen.
Right.
It would darken so much. And it's like, now I wish I had installed lighting up here because they never see that light anyway.
Yeah, you can angle it.
They would have
won't
never
see
seen
the
it.
ceiling. Yeah.
So,
Gotta admit, man, not only that, but that mic sounds so good in that area. Like, especially you're standing in the middle of a nearly empty room, and it sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What mic
once
is that?
we installed these panels, it was beautiful. Oh, this mic. Oh my gosh. It's man. I think I got the command in my chat. Hold on, let me type real quick.
Is that the one? That's the wireless one.
Is it a lav mic or is it a?
Yeah, he's got a.
It's a condensate or what is it? Condenser.
Countryman?
Condenser. Yeah. It's the Audio Technica BP894CT4. I don't even know if they make it anymore, but I got it ages ago. But I know I wanted a wireless mic that would work all over this studio because I'm too. I like to get up and move around too much to be bound to a microphone in front of my face, And so, like, there's nothing here. I just attach it to my ear. You can barely see it there. Kind of blends in with the beard, so it kind of even works. People are like, what's he talking into?
Yeah, it totally does.
Yeah. It's good.
So I used a head mic for years. And once I switched over to a stationary mic, it limited my range of motion, but it sounded better, and because the head mic things were not caught up to streamer needs, I guess. And I bought I used a fucking $15 Radio Shack model that they discontinued. So they were like, oh yeah, I went into Radio Shack one day and I was like, I'm gonna need a new mic. I broke mine somehow. I don't know how. And they were like, oh, they're discontinuing these. I was like, how many have left? 3? I'll take them all. So I took all of them, and I still have them back there, but they were not great. Like if you look at old clips of me, they were just
it's you get what
awful.
You get what you pay for in audio world. $15 mic goes sound like a $15 mic.
Very true. Very true.
Well, this one
but it was also the only option that I could move my head, and it wouldn't, it would keep the same audio quality. So I'm happy to hear that they're doing those now, and maybe I'll look into it. Maybe you've influenced.
I got the entire setup. I linked the mic, the receiver, and the pack that clips onto your pants wherever you put
Are you
that.
battery powered? You got rechargeable batteries? What are you rocking?
Yeah, it lasts for the full 10 hours that I stream.
That's good. You got to.
And then what's really nice. Yeah, but it has the charger built into it, so like you never have to worry about losing the charger.
Oh, okay,
you just
that's
plug
awesome.
it in and it's charging.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. That's good stuff. 10-hour charge.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's good. I think it's like they probably have a new one now because, like I said, I've had this one for an insane long time, and I think I got it in I started doing it in 2018.
Yeah.
So imagine there's got to be a new one out.
Does it? You wear it for 10 hours. It's comfortable then, because a lot of times with those type of mics, they can drain on the ear after X amount of hours.
No, not from this because it's too light. It just kind of just gently cups the ear. Like it's made of silicone or something like that. So it just feels really good.
Maybe here's the follow-up question. Me and Zeke got big ass heads. Do you got a big ass head?
Yeah, I'm a fat man. Always got a big head.
Yeah, but like me and Zeke have big heads. Like we got big motherfucking heads.
Yeah, I got big old cassavas on our.
Yeah.
Okay. It just hooks on your ear. That's all it does.
Okay.
It doesn't squeeze it or anything.
Oh, so there's nothing around the back on the other. Okay.
No,
Gotcha.
it just hooks there.
Okay.
That's pretty good.
What model did you say?
It's Audio Technica. I can give you the link. That's not a problem. But like I said, I don't know if they even make it anymore.
Yeah. Shoot us the model number. We could probably find the updated version.
They even have that. I don't even know.
894 CT4. Okay. Thank you, Wabbajack.
Yeah.
Thank you.
EP 894 CT4. Yeah, that's it. The Audio Technica. That's it.
Okay. And it's not. It's not unreasonably priced.
Was it a couple hundred?
Looks like $200.
200.
Or those countrymen like that I've heard other people use. Members game. Are like $500.
Yeah.
So
yeah, they get up there.
I only picked this one up because I was like, this is one singers use when they're on stage singing songs and stuff like that. I was like, well, if it's good enough for them,
right?
It's gonna be good enough for some fat Twitch streamer, right? It's gotta be, right?
Yeah. I've used Audio Technica. Like that's the mic I have is an Audio Technica. I've used this one for years, and it's reasonably priced, but it's also like, I'm rough on things, so and this one has been with me, and I'm sure I've dropped it, hit it, whatever, stuff like that. Whereas if it was like a Shure SMB, I'd be like, I don't want to get too close to it because I might break it, and I don't want to do that.
I don't know. SM7Bs are pretty sturdy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had this one since 2012, and it's still fine. It's got some longevity in it. They're also still expensive. I just bought a second one for the other room. They're still $400. Always have been. They've not changed the price. I think they were $100 off on this one, which is the lowest I've ever seen them at like $399. So
I've honestly thought about doing like the Tim and Eric awesome show, like the microphone, like the actual just stick mic taped to the chest.
Yeah, that would work. That would work. Burke, anything else you've added to the Pirates Den Cove? What do you call it? What's the BurkeBlack terminology for the studio?
Captain's quarters.
The captain's quarters. Okay, I knew there's got to have been something.
Just my I got that board games. I've been pushing on getting that set up as soon as possible now.
Yeah.
I got the table, and me and my dad went to during Christmas. We went out because we've been trying to look for this board game called X-Wing for a while.
Yeah,
and we'd like debating it because we saw it at Gen Con, and then we went to when we were at this game store, and this guy was like, hey, I got this Horus Heresy box for like $200 off. It's like a $300 box for the Horus Heresy for $40K.
Okay,
it's like it's so much plastic in that it'll make your head spin, but they gave us that for $100, and then on the way out. This guy was like, oh, by the way, all of our X-Wing stuff is 50% off.
Oh,
that's how they get you. Yeah.
I'm walking out of the store like this, like, I'm ready to go.
Now, one second. To play tabletop board games, you need people, like more than one person.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know people?
People they're a hard commodity to come by.
No, I'm honestly like, do you have like is it you and your dad, or do you have like a group?
It's gonna be me and my dad.
Like,
Yeah, we're gonna fight each other. But Cream also lives here as well.
Pay people to play, like hire them.
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I've done for 10 years. Yeah.
I was just gonna say that's your business model, homie.
Well, they don't stick around after the payment runs out. So
now, I was gonna say, are you sure that's only 10 years? You've not been doing that your entire life?
No, I didn't have money up until about 10 years ago.
So like, Burke,
if Billy comes over and plays with JP, we'll give you $20.
I do not know anything about those deals, and if they were true or not. Go, what were you gonna ask, Burke?
I was gonna say, so I remember you had like a custom table made and like all sorts of stuff, right? Do you have your camera set up in there, like right now? How is it coming along?
It's the logistics of like putting all that together is something else. But no, Wormwood apparently are just really nice people. Yeah, like I just messaged them. I was like, hey, I want to do some board games. Maybe you want to work together, because like some of their tables are just, when I was at Gen Con, their tables are just wow, and they were kind enough to sponsor the entire board game setup, so they sent me one of their modular tables.
Nice.
And that thing is stupid nice.
Yeah.
I can't speak more highly of it. It looks like a piece of furniture. Like you could have this in your home.
Oh yeah.
It's like a dining table or a coffee table or something like that, and play games on it. You just take the top off, play. And the attachments just are magnetic, so they just pop in and pop out.
Yeah,
it's stupid good. But no, like
tables are definitely pricey too. Couple thousand.
I'm getting the cameras, the lights, and I'm gonna get one of those because I talked to Angry Joe about it. Other Joe is his name, right? It's Other Joe. So he has this big giant mechanical arm, and I think like when you look at like live streams of board games on Twitch, they're usually pretty jank, because like whoever is doing the camera is like they're on a boat, like trying to film it. Yeah, here comes our guys. There they go. And you're like, God, it's just so awful to watch.
Yeah.
Or they want to do it where the camera is like, the board game's here and their camera's like way out here. And you're like, what's happening? Let me get my binoculars to see what's going on over there, And it's like, I have an idea in my brain on how to pull chat into it. They have to, it's like us streaming games. People are always confused. What's going on in the game? What is this? What is that? It's like when you do board gaming, you're gonna have to have something in place to explain what the game is going on, what's happening in the event that you're doing it, and also make it fun to watch. Get them invested, like, oh my gosh, here comes the Tyranids, and get like a GoPro to like zoom in, have some smoke effects and some explosions, just get chat involved in like a show that's being played, instead of it just treating it like a dull, I'm just gonna roll my dice. Get them involved in the experience,
Sure.
So I'm going to get one of these big mechanical arms, like, so they could stabilize a camera that can zoom in, keep it very professional looking, very clean.
So you could have someone man that 24/7?
No.
So then why are you getting a mechanical arm? That's pointless.
No. The mechanical arm is like it's like for your mics, right? Like you have on your mics right now. So the idea would be we'll attach a camera to that, and I'll just grab it and zoom in on where the action is.
Gotcha.
So I can swap to it on a Steam Deck.
Gotcha.
The only thing that's going to require my hand is going to be like a GoPro, and I'll put it on like a stick, so I can zoom in, like give them the eye view, like this is what the Space Marine is seeing right now. Watch out at the Tyranids are coming around this corner.
Yeah, good.
So theatrical moments.
Let me ask
you. Sounds
cool. Burke. So how do you deal with how do you deal with not talking to your dad for a week after playing a board game with him? That could just be me. And when I played games with my dad, but like, I'm sure it's probably the same with all dads, right? Is that bad? Like, how do you get through that part of your?
Oh, me and him are, we've done that a million times to each other. We do that on a daily basis. So it's more like now me and my dad would like, hey, you idiot. Hey, you dummy, you old man. Go to bed or something like that. And we'll have that spat. And then it's like, okay, what do you want to have for dinner for tonight? Oh, I don't know. Something. Mm-hmm. We have spats all the time.
Just in the moment.
It'll be great when that's on stream.
Yeah, that'll work out. Cool. That'll work out.
I can't wait for him arguing with me. I can see your man. I can see him. I can shoot that guy. You can't see him. He's in the bush.
Well, you could just cheat and not tell him that you have the mechanical arm behind him, so then you could see everything he's doing. right?
No, sir. I bought a laser, one of those laser things that puts the laser on the ground, so there is no disputing whether he could see me or not. I plan to hit. I plan to hit for this. I bought that. I spent the money. I said, now we can't argue because if the laser sees it, then you can see it.
Nice.
You listen. I liked you before, Burke, but I like you a lot more now because I was that guy at the comic book shop with the the Warhammer tables in the back. Like, excuse me, I can see it. Look.
You have to have the laser
sticking out, son. I'm gonna blow his foot off.
You have to have it. Yeah,
it's too important now.
That's true. Well, cool. Any games? I guess Skull and Bones is probably the biggest thing on your radar, right? And then it got pushed back.
Yeah. Skull and Bones, which now I don't know what's going to happen with that. So I'm going to try to move away from that a little bit. Focus on Final Fantasy 16. You know, I'm huge into Final Fantasy.
Yeah. June though. It's a bit away.
It's a bit away, but you know what comes out Monday?
What's that?
And I don't know if you guys would be interested in it or not. Is World War II Rebuilder. Have you heard of that?
Rebuilder.
You rebuild I don't know if I want to rebuild the war. What does that mean?
No. It basically it's so no. It's think of it like a sim. You know, like those games that are like house building sim and all that stuff. So the general idea is that at the end of World War II, somebody had to clean up all that mess.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? So you are that somebody at the end of World War II. You have to rebuild neighborhoods. You have to clean up tank debris and shell debris and planes and stuff like that. And you're basically, you're World War II rebuilder. Or reconstruction. Is that what it's called? Yeah, there it is.
It's this. I'll look real quick. This is from the Steam page.
Huh.
And by the way, it does history too. Like it'll give you like why this area is so destroyed, what happened here, it's very, very cool. And you get to use some of the equipment to help you rebuilding.
Yeah. Does this have like a multiplayer component to it or just single? Okay.
No, just single player. It just, I don't know. It's kind of lethargic, like to go in and clean it up and then like make it look nice again,
It's definitely
kind of what?
What?
You say lethargic?
Lethargic or not lethargic, whatever the word is.
Nostalgic?
No, not nostalgic.
I was like, is it a slow game? Like what?
Cathartic, sorry.
Cathartic. There
That's
we
what
go.
I meant, yeah.
It's definitely a genre I've never thought of for World War II, right? Like generally you're like, all right, FPS, or like, oh, this is a real-time strategy. No, this is like power washing sim, but for World War II.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Dude, what's crazy is I had never even heard about that before you mentioned it.
Same.
It's World War II Rebuilder, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the name.
Huh. Thank you.
Imagine the devs listening. Like, he got the name wrong.
It is. It's World War II Rebuilder, Cities from the Ashes is the name of it.
There you go. I just love it because like it'll
19 hours.
Yeah, it kind of gives you like this is what happened in this area, like you'll see like a little bit of like a shadow of the battle. So and it plays it out and you can see it. And it's like, okay, now clean it up.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Burke, I have to ask, where are you at on the well, first off, you watch a good amount of like TV and movies and whatnot, right? Like
yeah.
Do you care at all about Last of Us coming out tonight? Are you gonna watch that? Not played The Last of Us? Where are you at with the fandom of Last of Us? Maybe is the first question.
No, I mean we'll see because like obviously the gameplay of it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for people because the Last of Us storyline is very much a Walking Dead kind of storyline.
Yeah.
Like it's just they're plant people, but they're zombies. Is basically what they are, and then there's bad humans. And people have seen that before with Walking Dead, so it's not like gonna surprise anybody with any kind of new stuff. But for people who played the game, we're gonna be like, it's Joel. Oh, look at that! We're gonna freak out because it's all these characters that we know, but. I don't know how well it's going to go with audiences because they might be not into seeing another zombie thing,
Reviews, I think review embargo was Monday or Tuesday or something like that, but it's reviewed very, 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 very well.
Good.
Don't know how well that's going to translate, like you said, to audiences. A lot of the buzz they're saying is like the next Walking Dead or like Walking Dead done right. I've seen that tagline a lot.
Yeah.
I've seen the tagline of like, this is the best video game adaptation ever type deal. A lot of hyperbolic statements leading into it, but I think it's a 90 or 80-minute preview, or episode 1 tonight. Third episode is apparently like the quote-unquote masterpiece of the season, because people that have reviewed it have seen everything. And I think story-wise...
People are saying it is the best video game adaptation...
Really?
In Medium. No. That one episode.
Oh, that one episode.
Is the best. Yeah, like that episode is the best video game adaptation like ever.
I think that's
just episode 3.
The Bill episode, if I had to think about the timeline.
I wouldn't be surprised if that's the episode that goes back to the beginning. With Joel and his first daughter.
Yeah.
No, that happens. That's episode 1.
Oh, that is episode 1.
Oh, it is.
It actually goes in chronological order.
Oh yeah,
the game.
This first season they've said is basically the first game, and it follows the story, like all the same beats that you would expect.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I want to say it is the Bill episode, and I think they explore Bill's relationship a little bit more than they did in the game. Whereas in the game it was kind of like barely touched upon, and then there's like the big stinger at the end as you're leaving Bill essentially. I think that they kind of go back and do a little flashback moment for that.
I'm just really hopeful that they don't change the whole ending of The Last of Us, because like that was for me that made the entire game, the entire experience was Joel's decision, and I hope that stays the same.
I don't think they would. Yeah, they've got the original creator. No, I don't think they will change it. It's got.
I think that would also drive fans absolutely crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they've stated it's supposed to be a pretty faithful adaptation. So if they were to change something that large, that is an absolutely iconic part. I couldn't agree with you more.
Yeah.
That would be bonkers if they changed that. Especially that leads into the second season. If they do decide to do that, I mean that's like a cornerstone of the second season.
Right.
So it's going to be interesting to see if they actually do a second season, because that's going to mean
same.
I mean, no.
It means a lot of things change.
Spoiler hand for Last of Us 2, but that means like a pretty serious cast adjustment.
A lot of things change.
Like Last of Us 2 is a completely different beast, main character wise, cast wise, than the first one. So,
I mean, Game of Thrones would have something to say to you, like about like
no.
After season 1, like it's fine. It'll be fine.
True.
If it's good enough.
Well, I mean, like when you guys look at this show, like obviously Last of Us, I'm not trying to knock the production value of it, because obviously there's going to be a lot of production value.
HBO,
but
it's good, best of the best when it comes to TV.
But like zombie makeup's not nearly as hard, or like you put some gunk on some guy's face and you send him out there as zombies. So like as a video game, Last of Us kind of makes sense for like a live action. It's much easier to do than say Fallout or Warhammer 40K. But I'm very curious to see how this is going to play out, because when you look at, like, I could kind of see Fallout.
I still can't believe there's a Fallout show. Yeah, that's wild to me. I mean, all of this stuff is wild, but it's because I never would have imagined any of this to be put into that type of medium.
They don't have to get too crazy with Fallout, right? They could keep it a little bit grounded. They don't have to get like death claws and crazy stuff like that. But
no, not really.
Like, how do you do 40K live action though?
Yeah, money,
dude.
You get money.
CGI and money. Yeah, I cannot wait to see what Cavill comes up with. Like seeing what it's going to look like, having actual people stomping around in Space Marine armor. Like that gives me goosebumps. Have
you ever seen guys do that in conventions? Like they're like, "Hey, I'm a Space Marine." Like all that armor is so cumbersome and it's so hard to walk around in.
It's weird. Yeah, it looks wonky.
And aren't Space Marines like canonically they're bred like larger?
Yeah, they're like
they're bred larger. They're genetically modified, and they're 8 to 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
So they're
not even in the
larger
suit.
people.
They're just large to begin.
So like they even have to do like the way they did it for Lord of the Rings: The Hobbit. Like they have to like film it in different ways to make the Space Marines look massive compared to a typical human. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We'll see. What do we have a timeline on when that's supposed to happen?
Are they 8 to 9 feet in their armor? I think they're 8 to 9 feet in their armor. I don't think they're actually physically large. I don't think it's a Halo.
That's a burn.
Thing,
I'll refer to
no, they're physically bigger. Yeah,
they're physically
they
taller
put in the armor,
as well.
they get bigger. Yep.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they're 8 to 9 feet already, and then like 10 to 12 in armor.
Yeah.
And then you don't even bring into the equation to the size of a Primarch on top of that, which is even bigger.
Yeah.
Primarch is
and
just
then
the
the Emperor
Space
himself,
Marine?
which is even bigger.
Okay.
I can't wait for Space Marine 2, man. Oh my god. Oh,
yeah, should be good.
I saw a tweet out there about it. Someone was talking about The Last of Us and like, this might be the best blah, blah, game to show experience, and someone was like, stop saying Castlevania doesn't exist, you bastards.
Castlevania is pretty good. Yeah, I mean,
Castlevania was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
There's actually
I never watched
JP
the
on
last season
Google.
of that,
There's a size chart that you can look at of like.
Oh really?
Of Warhammer 40K's Space Marines. Like they have the little puny human there, and then there's a Space Marine, then it's a Primarch, and then there's Emperor, and it's like they just have all this crazy stuff, and it's like, I don't envy the showrunners who are going to try to figure this out.
There we go.
Yeah,
this
that's
is what
it.
you're referring to. Yeah.
Yep.
So this is a normal human on the far right.
That's an Imperial Guardsman. Yeah, that's your typical low-level soldier. And then the guy next to him is your typical Space Marine.
Yeah.
And then the guy next to him is the now extinct Thunder Warriors, who were like the proto Space Marines.
Oh,
really?
A Primus is the new Space Marines. That's like they're advancing the 40K storyline now, and it's like the Mechanicum has come out and like, we know how to make Space Marines even better, or some other guy did it or something. One of their scientists did, and now that's the new Space Marines that Games Workshop is pushing.
Well, they got to
and
sell.
The guy
they got to
next
sell
to him
some more.
Is a
things.
Yeah, they just got more stuff. Who knows? When they put more stuff in them.
We got to let Burke finish. I want to know what all these guys are.
Oh, the Custodes there. That's the Space Marines developed for the specific purpose of protecting the God Emperor. That's what they're. That's why they're like the cream of the crop, most badass you can imagine. The guy next to him, that's your typical Primarch. So those are like the demigods of Warhammer.
Okay.
And the guy next to him is just a very big Primarch.
Is that what it means with Vulcan? That's just like the bigger version?
It's Vulcan. Yeah, he's just a really big one.
Okay.
And then lastly is the Emperor, or at least how the Emperor wishes us to see him as.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, the Emperor is just like a quivering mound of flesh with 1,000 tubes in him, right? I mean, like...
Yeah, but back during the Horus Heresy, he was walking around and fighting with the Space Marines. The fun lore aspect of it is he actually 15 feet, or is that just what he wants you to see him as? Like, we don't know, because his psychic power is so powerful, he can kind of make himself look like anything to you.
Random lore thing. Is the Emperor actually conscious in the current day and age? Like, is he more of just a force they're keeping alive to keep the warp and stuff running, or is he like an actual
conscience.
decision? He actually makes decisions and interacts with his environment and talks and stuff like that.
They have some people that actually like sit down and like try to commune with the Emperor to garner what his will is, and they try to interpret it, and then it's like somebody reading a religious text and they're trying to interpret what the word is, and then they go off and do their thing. Some of these guys, they don't know, they misinterpret, they don't understand. They actually brought in because 40K pushing their lore forward. They brought back a Primarch from the Ultramarines, Gilliman. He's back, and he actually walked into the Golden Throne and communed with the Emperor, and actually got something back from him. They actually had a conversation. But he says that the Emperor's humanity, after 10,000 years of being in that throne, is gone, and he's much more monotone now, where he remembers him being more, guiding and like more like a father figure. But now he realizes that the Emperor regards him as just a tool that was gone, that was lost, that is now found. He doesn't have any kind of emotional connection to Gilliman at all, even though that's his, genetic son in a way.
Huh.
So the storyline is getting very interesting. I'm reading up on it now. I'm starting with the Horus Heresy, reading all those books, and then going into this crazy Dark Imperium that they started now. So
that's the newest thing.
If you could do this for us, Burke, once you're done reading all those books and you're fully caught up with the lore, if we could bring you back for a special Warhammer episode for Space Marine 2, and you can just summarize everything you read, beginning to end, in about 2 hours.
Yeah, about 2 hours.
No, that's not a problem. That's not a problem. As long as we play the music from Space Marine to go with it, because I already went on this epic rant. We were doing the Dark Tide, and chat was like, there was so many people chat like, what's the Emperor? What's this? And I was like, oh, you want to know? I'll tell you. And I added music to my rant and everything. It just went into this epic monologue about the entire thing.
Dude,
I just had a blast with it.
Warhammer lore and Twitch is such a magical thing. I recently, for the first time ever, played through Space Marine to get ready for Space Marine 2. And I have to say, it was, I kid you not, one of the most entertaining streams I've done. Because every single time I would look over in chat, there would be numerous complete Warhammer nerds exchanging paragraphs of information. No. Actually, these guys invaded this at this time, so that power armor wasn't yet established because it wasn't found in the homeworld of Zargoth before the aliens invaded that with the Tyranids. No, that's not right, because the Tyranids already had invaded that world, and they took the power armor and blew up the sun of this system. No, but you forgot about the ship that was found. And it's just like...
So...
And I'm just sitting here like...
I love them so much, man. I love them. They're so fun to talk to.
Now take all that and think about if someone was making a show based on Warhammer 40K and what that conversation's going to look like. Because I don't know. I don't know if the internet can exist.
Havel nerds out about that stuff. So the best part about this new show is he's going to be at the center of it. He's the one going to be saying, no. And then he's going to be like, okay, what I just said, put that in the show.
It's kind of a gamble. Like if you think about how Hollywood stars these days try to do everything to like appease as much audience as they can, if he like fucks this up, he could get a lot of hate from a lot of people.
But, hey, apparently that's one of there were many reasons, to be clear, but one of them is that's why he left Witcher.
Right.
He got sick of not showing what The Witcher was and more catering to. So the fact that he's like at the
center
seat of this, like I'm really hoping, if he's in the creative control, like, and he doesn't have to deal with that, I think it's going to make just for a better show. I mean, because I have to say with Witcher, it kind of fell apart the more they went like the showy with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, now this new Witcher show that came out, people are just saying, don't even bother watching. Like it doesn't, it's terrible from what I've heard.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate. So, yeah.
No thoughts.
Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to derail our stuff there. But yeah, Warhammer's awesome. The lore is so big and there's so many little bits about it. I am so excited for Space Marine 2. I can't wait to see, like, because apparently it's adding to the lore and stuff. So that's going to be...
When's that come out?
It'll be great.
Tentatively?
I think it's this year.
Yeah.
But I don't know when.
Yeah. Okay, they haven't said month.
Later
I don't think they've said when. Okay. Yeah, they've said this year, though.
Yeah.
And everything we've seen of it looks good. We rewatched the trailer when I was done with Space Marine 1, and man, it is looking good.
Please play Space Marine. If you haven't had a chance, it's one of those games that came out through the Xbox 360 era, and it really flew under the radar. It's such a great introduction to, if you don't know what Warhammer is, it's such a great, like, just gore fest of a, giant war machine of a man that just goes ballistic on some orcs, and it's a good storyline. Music, the soundtrack to this day is still some of the best music I've ever heard.
Operatic
like
and dramatic.
At least. It's super dramatic, man. It's so good.
It not only holds up, but it's the kind of thing where you're probably going to want to play it before the second one. If you have any interest in the second one and you've never played the first one, it holds up. It's great. It's a fun experience, and you play the same character. So it's a great way to kind of figure out why the second one is the way that it starts and everything. So that's really cool. It was a lot of fun.
Cool.
It's a big power fantasy.
It is. I mean, that's all Warhammer is ultimately. At the end of the day. Yeah. Jumping into the news, kind of a slower week. Ubisoft out there doing Ubisoft things, talking about how they're canceling 3 unannounced games on top of the 4 canceled in July. They're planning a $200 million cost reduction, including natural attrition and divesting of non-core assets. We talked about Skull and Bones. That's delayed. They talked about Assassin's Creed Mirage is on a, quote, more intimate scale, and how that was directly shaped by fans exhausted with enormous RPGs, which I think that's kind of... I agree with that. Like, the past 3 Assassin's Creed games have actually just been too big to jump into. Like, they are so massive in terms of all of that stuff. To have like a smaller scale Assassin's Creed game is kind of good. If it's like a 20, 30 hour, maybe even 25 hour right there in the middle, be good.
Dude,
I'd be into that.
Especially if they can condense the quality. If that's like 25,
make it a solid,
super interesting, very, very cutscene-y, story heavy twists and turns. Like that could be a honestly, that could be like a rebirth for the franchise. That could be a huge step forward.
Yeah, could be. We'll have to see with that. Games Done Quick is over. They raised a total of $2.6 million this run. Zeke, I know
always staggering.
Yeah, it always starts off like kind of slow. I tune in like Monday, and I'm like, 300,000, and then like it's that Friday bump where it just skyrockets. Like they do like 1 million in 24 hours or something like that.
Yeah.
Zeke, I know you were gonna watch. I watched one run, which was the Final Fantasy 14 Palace of the Dead run, which was.
I knew you were gonna be there.
Yeah. It was all right. It was hard to, I think for people watching that, it was hard to appreciate how challenging what he was actually doing was, because it just looked very normal, and like he was talking the whole time. It was very nonchalant. Like, it's like, okay, cool. This guy's just like clicking some buttons and killing some things. But what he did was very, very impressive. But that was the only one I watched, Zeke. But for you, did you check out anything? Any notable runs for you?
I've been watching. Usually I'll have it on in the background if it's live, depending on the run. I'll watch it more intently or not, but
yeah.
More so, like I've noticed that I will go to the VODs, and so I can skip the interstitials and the setups and all that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. And but I've been making my way through it for the next week. That's probably will be my viewing entertainment. Will be watching the VODs of GDQ and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think I absolutely loved that one of my top 10 games of the year was on the awful block, which I thought was hilarious.
Wait, what was that?
Salamander County Public Television.
Oh. Wait, how do you speed run?
Stupid
that's
WarioWare,
game, right? Oh, no, that's a WarioWare game. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's the mini game, ridiculous. Like, I just had so much fun with it. It was so charming, and I just loved it. They did skip over, like, obviously the speed run, so they skipped over like the middle parts, between the games. But like that was part of the charm. So like a lot of people probably don't understand just by watching it, like, why would this be on your game of the year list? Because there's a lot of charm that's missing from like not doing the actual story. But
yeah,
it was fun to see someone just speed through some of the games that took me frustrating ever to get through. Some of them I spent like a good hour or two on, like just like trying to get the gold medal.
Yeah,
and it was really fun, and it was fun to see no context for some of the ridiculous things that were on the screen. Like you get a little bit of context from the story, but
they're kind of skipping the story.
Yeah, he's at the end. He was like, if you want to know why this guy has a giant vacuum hose in his mouth and he's trying to suck up your character model, you got to play the game. And I was like, you really do. It's great.
Nice.
But yeah, it was fun to see that. I also got to check out the MGS3 race. That was awesome.
Oh, they did a race for it. Nice.
Yeah. Yep. It was actually a fun race to watch because they were doing all camos, all face paints. So they had to go.
That's pretty long.
What go out of their way and grab all that shit.
Is that like
I think it was like an hour and a half.
Okay. For some reason, I was like, that's like 9 hours. Nope. I forgot. This is GDQ.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it was on, I think it was still on European Extreme as well. So like,
fucking
it wasn't,
hard
the hard mode. So, but the lead changed hands a couple of times, some people like took a death or, accidental fuck up or something like that. But it was a fun race to watch. I really enjoyed it.
Nice.
Did they list like the fastest game? Like do they have like a list and like this was the game that was completed the fastest?
I'm curious
which that one is.
Like overall?
Yeah.
They have games that last like 5-6 minutes.
Yeah.
Like speed runs that are like 5 or 6 minutes long. But that's a lot of the times it's because of like a major glitch in the game where they like sometimes like there are certain like long games that you can beat in mere minutes because of like how the game is set up, like the map overlays. So if you confuse the game into thinking that this map is the final map of the game, you can like clip into the wall or whatever, and then like get to the final area of the game like immediately. Like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
But my favorite runs to watch are the 100% all collectibles, whatever, like those kind of runs, because it kind of forces the player to explore most of the game.
So it's gonna be like final. What is it, Far Cry 5, where you could beat it really fast if you just stay at the table?
Something like that. I mean, here's an example, Burke. The Elden Ring speedrun right now is 19 minutes 49 seconds.
What? How? Like,
yeah.
They just go big.
Do they just run straight? Boss? Yeah. Like
it's got it's using the weapon swap chainsaw glitch, which I don't know anything about that route. I just know that's the current world record on speedrun.com, any %. So,
I don't even know what that
goodness.
Means.
That if you wanna see games glitched out like to the max, like just ignoring anything in the game, you want to look for any % runs. Any % runs mean anything goes. Get to the credits of the game as fast as possible, no matter what. No rules, no nothing.
Yeah.
So like you'll see some any % runs of games that take you 100 hours, just like JP said, take you 19 minutes.
Yeah. I'm trying to look for other games that Burke would be familiar with. Cuphead, any % is 28 minutes. That's probably hardest difficulty as well.
Wow.
I'm just sorting by like most popular on the speedrun.com site. What is it? Why do they have it? What is the League of Legends speedrun? Weird. It's like
sometimes you have to put.
It's how quickly you can get to a point where you just want to Alt F4 and never play.
Or you just don't want to play again. Yeah. That sounds about right. I don't know. Burke,
some games like that, like ongoing games or like games that don't actually have an end, like they put caveats. Like Final Fantasy 14, they put like
right. Yeah, they make a speed.
This is the speed run of what we're doing. We're taking this chunk.
Yeah.
Is there a story mode in League of Legends?
No. Not in like the main
not yet.
League of Legends game, yeah.
Yeah, that's coming.
Yeah.
MMO is coming next, and then who knows what's after that.
Yeah.
Live action.
Cool, I didn't know this. I'm just looking at random games now on speedrun.com. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, 8 hours, 12 minutes. I don't even know how that's possible. Because that game
it would just have to be running literally directly to every point. Like, what difficulty is that?
It's any %.
It's any
on
%?
normal. On hard, it's
On
11
normal?
hour 28.
That's still really impressive.
Yeah,
Most
most
of
of
it doesn't grind at all. There has to be some kind of like combat trick they're doing or something. I don't know.
On easy, it's 5 hour 42. So difficulty.
Oh, also, chat's bringing up the good point. They just skip every cutscene, and that's like a huge bulk of the time.
Yeah, I mean, still though, that game is very
long,
very long. Yeah.
By the way,
Super Mario 3
before we move on too far from this, quick question for Burke. As a huge Warhammer fan,
wait,
it's actually game.
Wait.
It's game related.
Yeah, I'm a bit of a Warhammer fan, man.
A little bit
here.
Well, here's somebody asked this in chat, and I realized I had no idea on this either. So as you guys know, I'm a huge CRPG fan. I feel in many ways they give you the most lore, the most story. Yes, like I know CRPGs aren't really your thing, but I mean Rogue Trader is going to be like one of the most giant lore-filled Warhammer 40K games ever made. Like, are you following that one? Are you looking at that one?
So CRPGs actually are my thing. I absolutely love them. The problem is that I can't stream them well. The problem I can't stream them well is because I'm dyslexic. So when they're not fully voiced, and I have to like do that because it doesn't make for a good stream to just sit there quietly and read. You know, I have to read it out loud. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it just messes with me. And it makes me yawn, and it just chat's just like, oh, he's so bored because I'm yawning because I'm reading. You know, but I love them. I get it. During December, I just bought like. I think I bought like 20 CRPGs to add to my list because I'm gonna play them on my Steam Deck. But no, I absolutely love CRPGs. I grew up playing those games. So Rogue Trader, when I played it, and every time I was playing with chat, I was like, this is it. This is like the Warhammer experience because it's dropping lore. You got all these characters. You had a battle sister there. You had like the navigator is there, and they're just like, for the God Emperor. It's like.
So that's so cool.
Perfect.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure it was on your radar and everything. It sounds like it totally is. So yeah, that's great. I mean, I played through the entire little pre-alpha thing. I had to pull myself away from it. And like, did you get to like the ship combat and everything?
No, I didn't get to the ship combat.
There is actual turn-based ship combat. So you get to like, you have your little ship versus enemy ships, and you have to like turn it and rotate it and fire off your broadsides, and like you have moves and each of your. It is so cool. So yeah, it is definitely going to be, I think, one of the more iconic 40K games. So good to know it's on your radar.
Top tier. Like they did so good with the atmosphere, with the, like, you know, you're in the streets of Warhammer 40K, see like the slums of the people are like, I just want to serve the emperor by cleaning up this trash on the ground. That's what I'm here to do. I'm gonna clean that trash. They're like, good for you, buddy. You know, like, I just love that. Good game, awesome. Man. They got a collector's edition.
Oh, I know.
It has a really nice model.
This man just said, by the way, they have a collector's edition.
But funny story. They actually debuted that on my stream.
Oh, nice. Oh
yeah,
man,
I'm kind of an Owlcat fan. So I'm pretty fun.
And I want to get a hold of Games Workshop. Like, I know they work with creators. And it's like, how do I open this door?
I did a sponsor stream, sponsor stream for them for whatever their like most recent.
Yeah, you did like an actual Games Workshop sponsor stream. Not like for a video game, but like
it was for their fantasy thing that I just can't remember the name of. It wasn't 40K stuff. Krindor, I don't know if you know who he is, Burke, but he does a lot of stuff with them as well.
Like the sponsor that I did, which was
there you go.
Yeah, it was for Skulls. It was the Skulls event. They where they all the Warhammer games go on sale, and there was a third party guy, and he was the one handling Games Workshop. And I was like, hey, could I talk? Hey, just say hi to him. Can I just like, hey, what's up, Games Workshop? And he was like, sure, bud. Never heard from him. Like, it never happened. It's like, sometimes people like take their contacts and they're like, no, these are mine. You don't get to do nothing with this,
I mean, essentially what you said, hey, can I cut you out of the business and just talk straight to them? That's how he took that.
Yeah, I guess he probably did, where I was just wanting to
why in the world would he be like, sure, Burke, I'll make no money off of this. Here you go. This was not in his business. But yeah, you should be able to find the context for that, I would think. They're being more, from what I've seen, they're much more open to that type of stuff, where they were very closed off in the past.
Yeah.
Hey, with how many games they make that have a 40K thing attached to it, just say you're making a game, and you'll probably find someone.
Just go on down to Walmart. You can get some orange juice, some milk, and the IP license for the next game from Games Workshop. It's right there next to the oranges.
Yeah.
About $6.
It's not that. It's just a molded
I do have an
game.
idea. They could make 40K a game on Steam, make it free to play, and if they want people to play 40K, they buy their army packs.
Oh, so they got the digital armor stuff.
I think a 40K extraction shooter is a no-brainer. Going into derelict parts of a hive city, like dropping it at different points, grabbing as much loot and stuff and getting out as you can, having mutants and all sorts of Tyranids and shit all over the place as NPCs. Fighting PvPvE.
It's lore friendly too. Like they're going
it's seriously, it's 100% lore friendly. I mean, a Warhammer extraction shooter would just be printing money if they made it properly.
Dude, there's a game called Moonbreaker.
40K Tarkov. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, chat. Is it called Moonbreaker? I think it's called Moonbreaker. That's early access. Man, it's a board game. It's literally a board game video game. It's 40K, and I think it's almost like a proof of concept of a 40K game. They dropped the model, and the model moves like a 40K. Like there's no XCOM stuff to it.
That's Brandon Sanderson.
Moonbreaker is the game from the Subnautica devs.
Yeah,
that's their next big game. Moonbreaker.
Dude, it was very fun because I'm playing this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wish they would get the 40K license so that we could just do that, and you even paint the models, dude. And you take the model and you paint it in your own inside the game, and then when you play against other people, it's your model that was painted.
I don't know if they've ever specifically said it, but in all of the interviews, the big mastermind behind Moonbreaker always talks about how much he loved to play the miniature games. So it's like I don't know if you've ever said Warhammer, but it's very clearly like an homage to Warhammer in video game for sure.
It does.
Of course, it has Brandon Sanderson writing the lore, who is, of course, a literary powerhouse these days. So he is, it's
the cool aspect of this is that it does all the rules that you would have to do with the measuring stick and all that stuff. It does it all instantly for you. So it tells you, hey, you could move in all this area, you could move, but you don't have to go to your max length. You could go over here to get behind cover, or you could go over here and do that. So I'm like, dude, this could be 40K. The only thing my only criticism was that I wish it wasn't like just straight models. Like I would rather them be animated. Like have them like battle chess. Remember how battle chess was? Like, yes, it is a fun, but they're kind of like they're alive, and they're getting ready to fight. Like I would have them animated so that you just feel more immersed with what you're using.
100%.
That's all I was.
What's kind of funny is what you were talking about wanting to do in your physical thing is kind of exactly what they do in this game. You do an attack and it zooms in and swirls around them and shows the attack go off and stuff. And
exactly,
it's doing all the right thing in that regard. What's kind of interesting is when they announced this game, like I remember when I first saw the preview and they were like, from the devs of Subnautica, and I was like, oh, and then they explained the game and I was like, oh, because I'm not really into that normally. And I was kind of like, and I've ever since that day wondered, like, how is this game doing? Like, I'm very curious. Like, are a lot of people playing it? Is it catching on? Is it performing as they're hoping it is? I always check every so often their Twitter and stuff to see if there's like an update on how it's going, because it is Speaking of which, real quick in chat, are any of you like playing this game? Like, is it?
It's very positive on
it's
Steam
out
right now. Yeah, it's early access on Steam. It's got 517 reviews, very positive, both recent and all. It looks like their release date is September 29th. Oh, sorry, that's when it went into early access, was September 29th.
I think it's early access, and I don't think it has a release date yet.
Yeah. No, like 1.0.
I played a couple hours of it.
Yeah.
I liked it. It was all right, but I want to echo what Burke said. Like, when you said battle chess, I was like, oh yeah, because I remember you would move the pieces around, and then like the castle would like morph into this like rock monster and like
all
at once. Yeah, dude, that'd be
he would like
game.
Wouldn't he eat the queen if you actually if you were just like dude, that was so good. That was so good.
Like, this is a great.
Is that what you just said?
That's what I just said.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was literally like doing that as you said it. Yeah, that's kind of.
I'd like to take this game and like hire these people to make a Warhammer 40K based board game, like just like this. Like, don't change anything except make them animated. So like when a Space Marine would like, I'm attacking this Tyranid player, like actually animate that it would come in and and then I've argued this with chat because you got to make it something that'd be interesting to Games Workshop, because they're always worried that if they make 40K as a video game, then it's going to take away from the models game, and I don't see that as a real threat to them.
I mean,
they could make it literally free
expanding their player base, right? I have no interest in having models in my room, but if I could get them and it would be a digital component, I might, right? Like,
gamers would be irritated, but like make it free to play, give us all starting armies, and if I want to, then you could do the same model that they do for the board game, in the sense that if I want a Carnifex, well then. That'd be like a $3.99 purchase, and I can add a Carnifex to my army, or if they make it all point based, then it's not really pay to win, because the points make it that they can't be pay to win, because whatever your point system is that you go into a battle limits what you can actually field on the battle. So like whoever fights what, you could do it that way. I don't know, something to make it more enticing for them to do it. I don't know.
Interesting little side note, by the way. Right now, for reference, there's about 7,100 people playing Subnautica. There are 15 people playing.
Yikes. Okay. Well, maybe not doing that great.
Yeah.
I think that might just show like the I don't know. I wonder how much actual like Warhammer 40K people venture outside of the Warhammer 40K thing for the same type of product, if that makes sense.
And it's also there's this interesting cannibalization aspect where it's like, if people wanted to play with miniatures, I think a lot of the reasons that people want to do that is because they're physically in front of them. When they paint the miniature, that's their miniature, So it's kind of like I wonder if it's kind of suffering from that, where where the people that would play it are kind of like, well, if I'm going to do this anyway, I'd rather do it right here in front of me, not in a video game. So
JP, you ought to show the Horus Ascended model that they just freaking released. Because like Warhammer is like really focused on the Horus Heresy board game now. Like it's like they got 40K, which is like been around for so long. They're like, so those who are, you don't know where to start, right? Because it's so massive. So they're like, well, you can start in the Horus Heresy now. You buy this one box set, get these books, and get these models, and it's I think the rules are even a little bit more simplified. But yes.
How big is that,
dude?
Though, for scale?
I love the base. Oh my god, that's amazing.
that is literally 1 unit in the Horus Heresy. That is Horus himself. He's a Primarch. He's the War Master of Chaos. Literally, at this point in his life, he's like the equal to the Emperor himself, practically. So, this model alone is like, I don't know. I think if it's like 1,000-point army, this is like 400 or 450 points model or something. Maybe somebody check and correct me, but like he's such. I don't know. I think it's like, I don't like, you saw the diagram. He's obviously bigger than a Space Marine, but he's also a Primarch. He's also infused with chaos at this point, so he's even bigger. I don't remember the dimensions of this thing, but it's a huge. It's about the size of the palm of your hand.
Wow.
But that's the length of a hand. Yeah, basically, it's like that. Just sitting on your table.
If he would be like the size of your hand, aren't there some Warhammer units that are like I remember in Space Marine?
Well, Titans, huge.
1. Yeah, Titans and stuff like that. Can you actually play with those in the miniature thing? Are they like?
Oh yeah,
like huge.
Some Titans you can. I think there's like the
I remember
what is it called? The War something or War Dog or War Hound. It's like not all Titans. Some Titans like would be the size that all you would see is the foot on your board.
Jeff had a Titan.
It's just so big.
Jeff would joke that he was going to sleep and he would put his Titan in bed next to him.
Somebody actually tried to make a Titan that big. It's on YouTube. Like he's creating it from foam to be a piece on his board.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're. I want to say like a Titan full. Like he talked about it was like several $1,000s when he got his.
There are some Titans that can be on the battle. There's like the Warlords, like chat's saying. There's some that are like kind of like miniature Titans that walk around on a field of battle that you could do in 40K. But it's the smallest one possible. The best example I can give to people in chat is imagine taking like a 3-inch miniature like this, for your Warhammer board game, and you put it on the floor and you stand next to it. You're a Titan. Like that's how big it is, Like you're
gigantic.
The unit of a Titan.
In Warhammer, massive. In Space Marine, I think they mentioned at one point that Titan needs 150 staff to operate or something like that. Like it was some crazy high number.
That's a Warlord Titan. I don't know how actually big that is, but you can kind of see how big it is in the corner of a room.
Yeah, that I've actually seen something like that on the tabletop before. I've seen that. It was a big tabletop. I've seen it at Gen Con where like they have these huge board. Some guy's got a Titan, another guy's got like a Chaos Titan and stuff like that, and they're just kind of fighting at each other.
Yeah, what is this?
Mars Pattern Warlord. Yeah, there it is. Forge World makes a lot of these. It's like $1,700.
That sounds about right. Yeah. Because I think the painting aspect is also why they get so expensive. Because most people don't want to paint this themselves. They try to get like a master painter to do it, so they don't fuck it up. Because it's so much actual money to get it to begin with. Yeah,
they paint these in sections too, and they have to attach it in sections. So, yeah, it's pretty wild. This is quite the deep rabbit hole that we can jump into because there's so many items. Warhammer is a game that is very much like. Well, I've got a pistol. And this guy's, well, I've got an assault rifle. Oh, well, I've got a bazooka. Oh, well, I've got a nuclear weapon. Oh, well, I've got this giant Titan. Well, yeah, well, I've got a planet that's a Titan. Like everything just keeps escalating and escalating. Oh gosh, that's one of the ones that like its toe would be the size of our board game. Like that's all you would see is its little toe down there.
Yeah.
That's the one with the cathedral on its back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Imperial, I think it's called the Imperial Battle Titan or something like
Titan
that.
Is
Emperor Titan.
Yeah. There's a lot of those.
Yeah,
a lot of people that have colored or painted that one different colors, whatnot.
It just gets so much more and more and more and more crazy as you go down that rabbit hole.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. All right. I am, as the host, I am ending Warhammer discussion unless you have a final comment. I will straight up mute your mic because I don't want to spend any more time discussing it after this point. But if you have anything else to say, we could do it right now. I just don't want to jump to another topic and then come back to it.
Play Space Marine.
There you go. Play Space Marine.
Space Marine.
Wrap it up with that. Cool. What else is there in terms of Xbox? Bethesda got an event January 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern. They said
Starfield is getting its own event.
Yes. Elder Scrolls Online, Forza Motorsport, Minecraft Legends, and Redfall will be on that 25th event. They didn't say when the Starfield event is, right, Co? Just that it's getting its own event? Okay.
It's going to get its own event.
Yeah.
Basically, they wanted to be like, don't show up for that if that's what you want.
Right.
It's not going to be here.
Yeah. Redfall's probably the one I'm most interested in. I think most people are interested in just because you want to see what it is. They had that one gameplay moment shown, and then they kind of came back and said, like, yeah, what we showed really wasn't necessarily... It was the game, but it's not like the full game.
Isn't that the Left 4 Dead styles with zombies?
Okay,
it's not. That's the thing.
ACG came out with a, like, this could save that whole thing situation. So basically, the previous came out. It looked like a generic Bobo co-op shooter. We've seen it before. Back 4 Blood being the most recent one. You know, like, cool. People that like that stuff will probably like it, whatever. But then they came back and said, no. It's a cooperative shooter, but don't think Left 4 Dead. Think Far Cry. So it's not going to be what I think a lot of people, including myself, thought it was going to be. They're doing something different with it. So and again, ACG, who's a big YouTube guy, has apparently seen a look at it, and he's like, this is something special. So hopefully it's going to be awesome. I mean, when Arcane is good, it's generally great. So hopefully that's going to be this kind of situation as well.
Yeah, I hope so.
It looks fun. I know the entire late shift wants to play it, so I'm down to do it. It looks like a good fun time.
Yeah, as long as you don't like with them saying it's more Far Cry-y, that makes it, to me, that means that you're not going to have to like go out of a level to go to a hub. The game just kind of continues. Is what that means to me. And that's more exciting than like, all right, let's load into the same mission we've played 6 times, but this time there's more multipliers and there's going to be a horde guy that's going to be bigger type deal. It
generally means more open world approaches to situations. Instead of like Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood games are very kind of corridory, like get from one place to another and deal with all the events in the little area you find them in. But a Far Cry situation is much more, an event is in the middle of a field and you choose which direction you want to come in and how you want to engage it and all that kind of stuff. So
it's much much more interested in it after hearing that, because when they first showed this, I was like, oh, it's Back 4 Blood, it's Left 4 Dead, it's the same game we've played. As not a fan of that series, it's the same game that's been released 30 times now, like a different corridor. So we'll see what they show on the 25th with this, as well as the other 3 games that they mentioned. I don't think there's going to be anything else there outside of those 4 games. So I don't think any like big announcements or reveals or anything on that event. But we'll always be keeping an eye out for the Starfield thing. And then I'm sure they're going to do something in June with, the normal E3 schedule. That is once again on the 25th at 3 p.m. Eastern for Xbox. Stadia is shutting down this week on the 18th at 11:59 Pacific. They came out and said that they will be releasing an update to manually enable Bluetooth on the Stadia controllers, because I guess if you don't have that, those are just paperweights. Did you buy Stadia? Did you get a controller?
I did. It's still in the box.
Yeah, I still have the controller, and I think it's upstairs on a shelf. It got used like once. I don't even know if that controller's good. I don't know if I'm ever going to use that controller ever again.
If it's anything like Stadia, no.
Yeah, it's probably not great. They kind
of shot themselves in the foot, though, by making you buy the games through them,
Yeah.
To be fair, they shot themselves in the foot by making Stadia.
It didn't, I don't know. There's a lot of problems with it. A lot of issues. That was one of them, though, for sure, Burke, where you had to buy the
Maybe then you had to buy it twice if you really liked the game. You wanted to play it on a computer. It's like,
yeah.
I like the way
the part about Stadia. The part about Stadia that was so incredibly ridiculous is that it is the literal exact same thing that has been tried so many times before. It didn't address any of the problems that the previous ones failed at, and then it basically failed for all the same reasons.
Yeah.
And like right when it came out, we were all like, "Yep, this is going to fail because it has so many times in the past." And Google's not doing anything to fix it. And then they did everything they could to keep it alive for as long as possible. And then finally, it failed.
Yeah.
Just like all the other ones for the exact same reasons. It's just like, shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a time we live in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think in that like world, games for Windows is or not games for Windows, Jesus Christ. NVIDIA's thing. Whatever.
GeForce Now, yeah.
GeForce Now,
it's king right now. It's freaking king.
Yep. Yeah, it's very good.
I use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's just too easy. It's click it, I'm playing. I got nothing. There's nothing negative. I have no negative to say about it. It's like Todd Howard. It just works.
Have you used the?
And it wasn't a bad Todd Howard, I gotta say.
Yeah. Have you used the?
GeForce Now is good.
Didn't they just announce there's like a 4K version of it now that uses a 4090 and whatever server you're connecting to? Have you used that?
They got rid of their 3080 membership
servers,
and they're just renaming it to the Ultimate, and that's it's smart because then they don't have to change the name every time a new card comes out, so you just call it the Ultimate.
Right.
It's GeForce. The graphics are always going to use for their most top end card because they're sticklers about the graphics, and that's I always tell Chad it's always going to look good.
Well, you may want to hashtag ad at the end of this, bud.
Oh yeah, he does do some sponsored.
I do.
Yeah. Burke is like a GeForce Now partner.
Yeah.
It's the best thing since sliced bread. It is absolutely amazing. You should go buy it right now.
That's true.
I did a couple of sponsor streams for them, and it is fucking great. It's a great service.
Guys in Mexican says the same thing. Yeah. Like he rants and raves about it nonstop. Yeah. Even if he is sponsored.
Kudos to them. I mean, they kept iterating the technology. They kept making it better. They focused on the inherent issues, which was getting the latency down, making sure it works locally, like making it so you have lots of options in how you use it. And they just kept developing the tech instead of what Google did, which is essentially just try to just license it and then just push it as hard as they can down our throats. It's nice to see GeForce is really sticking with it and most importantly giving it the resources it needs to kind of survive. And it is, and it's pretty much the top dog in this category right now. So more power to them.
Yeah.
And Genga from my chat asking the real questions. Can you play CD-ROMs on it?
No,
it's true.
I'm just waiting for them to like the ultimate device, right? Like I imagine when they they already have a dedicated streaming device from the Logitech G Cloud, right? That's a thing now.
Yeah, it's like a little handheld thing, right?
Yeah, a little handheld, and it's just for streaming. But when the Steam Deck has a dedicated GeForce Now app, that's rip. It's going to be an incredible device at that point.
Yeah, and to be honest, the Steam Deck already is insane to begin with, just for value. Do you have any 4K devices that you've done the 4K GeForce Now stuff with? I'm just curious how that runs and what it looks like and all that stuff.
Hashtag act. But I got the.
I'm just curious, how it looks on a proper, an actual 4K input.
So that I've got that. I don't know if I told you or not, but I have that 120 inch theater screen that I put in there.
The projector or whatever.
I told you guys about. Yeah, it's like an ultra short throw projector, right?
Yeah.
And I got 120 inch, and so you just put that right up against your wall, and it somehow it shoots the screen up there.
Yeah.
When you run the NVIDIA Shield through that, you can run through GeForce Now. You can have 4K resolution on that 120 inch screen.
Right.
Put this screen on game mode, and you're having a blast.
Yeah.
You're just
it works.
So are the games running natively in 4K then, or is it upscaled?
I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is that on their store, it's no, I guess it is. It's on their pod. It's running at 4K.
Right.
And then the stream just puts it up as 4K. So I'm pretty sure it does run natively at 4K. Yeah.
Huh. Okay. Kind of want to test that. Just see how it handles.
It's fun. Yeah.
How it goes. Yeah.
Sorry, my dogs were flipping out. I apologize. I forgot to mute.
No.
There they go again.
There you go again. Yeah, it's not that loud. You don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
Ko, you probably got hit up the most about this. A new single-player Mechwarrior game's in development. Did you do the research on this? Because I just saw the headline.
I mean, I was really excited for. I think it was MechWarrior 5 was the last one.
Mercenaries.
I played it. Yeah, I played it with my mods for a little bit, and honestly, I was kind of underwhelmed. It was very cookie cutter. It was very safe. Pretty much like some stuff that I really didn't like about it. They actually have fixed it since then. But like one thing that was driving me crazy when I was playing it is, you'd be running towards an objective, and it would be like enemies have spawned, and they'd be behind you, where you just ran from. And I mean, there were all sorts of just little things about it that made me play it for a couple days, and I was like, you know what, I'm done. So, granted, it's had a lot of patches and changes since then, and I am due to go back. I can't say the company that's making it is Piranha Bytes. Yeah, or not. It's not Piranha. Excuse me, Piranha Bytes is something different. I think it's Piranha something else.
I think it's just Piranha. Anyway, at least according to this quote.
Yeah, but it's the same company. And I'm
Piranha
not
Games.
Thank you. There we go. I'm not super excited for it. I mean, I'm absolutely going to try it just because I'm a huge mecha buff and I love that stuff. But I'm interested to see what they're going to be doing to push things forward. I haven't looked into it that much yet, but if they're going to be doing like cool things, to make it more interesting and stuff, that's great. If it's just going to be more of MechWarrior 5, then it's kind of like, I had that flavor and it was all right. But yeah, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with it and how they're going to push it forward.
Yeah. So
not a lot. I'll be blunt. Not a lot of hype behind it.
Okay.
I've probably been asked like 3 or 4 times.
The president of Piranha Games, Russ Bullock, was doing an interview with, I think, Video Games Chronicle. He says, everyone knows that we have DLC 4 coming out for MechWarrior 5, and there's another MechWarrior game in development at Piranha. Explaining that the game is another single-player title, Bullock clarified, it's not MechWarrior Online 2. It's not the successor to MechWarrior Online. It's not an online PvP game. Think of it more in line with MechWarrior 5, but a standalone game, a standalone product. So I guess that's an exclusive announcement for you, but that's all I have to say for now. In terms of it being officially revealed,
Warrior 6?
I guess, yeah, it'll be announced later. Don't know if I had to guess. It may be even until who knows, somewhere in 2023, maybe even as late as the fall, like September or something. I don't know why he's being so very non-committal to this. Yeah. So it'll be a while. You'll have to wait around to see how it is. But yeah, more in line with MechWarrior 5 type experience, meaning it'll be the game that comes out on all the platforms, PC and console. It'll follow as more of a single-player co-op type pathway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird they wouldn't just say MechWarrior 6. I don't know. Because they were all about MechWarrior 5 when they announced that project.
Do they own the MechWarrior IP? Is there like a parent company that owns that IP?
I don't think they own it. I think they're the license holders.
It might be a license.
I think they license it.
That's probably why
I don't think they hold it.
I agree with everything Ko said about MechWarrior 5, but I will say that the game definitely has improved. And Ko, do you like modding your games at all? You like modding them before you get into them?
Sometimes. I prefer vanilla, but sometimes mods like make games. And it's sounding from the look on chat when I've been talking about this, it looks like modding MechWarrior 5 is definitely the way to go.
Yes, we did that we did a late shift run of MechWarrior 5, and that was a lot of fun. Like we actually just modded the heck out of it and just went into it and had a blast with it. But it's definitely improved. Like some of the problems that I had with it when it initially launched, but it's gotten a lot better now. It's definitely. I mean, it's good if you have a group of friends that can just get in there and just have a blast. Like I don't feel like it's as good as a single player solo experience as much as it is like get 4 friends together and just go have some fun.
Never played it.
Especially with the multiplayer mod that allows so that when people, it's like one of the annoying things is like the person who hosts the game, they see everything. They see the shop, they see the cutscenes and all that stuff. So they had to make a mod to make it so that the other 3 players can actually see that stuff as well. And it's like, come on, guys! Like that should be in the game. Like no one should have to mod that.
Yeah, it's kind of rough. What else? Kind of the elephant in the room in terms of news this past week that we haven't discussed yet. This whole like Wizards of the Coast OGL thing.
Man, their press release.
I mean, there's a lot.
I had this explained to me by Gassy, so I didn't understand what was going on.
There's a lot going on. So it initially broke on Gizmodo, a journalist by the name of Linda Codega, who has made a lot of reporting on this whole subject. She initially broke the story of the OGL 1.1a thing, which is now, I guess, called OGL 2.0, which has a ton of changes in it, none of which the community was particularly happy about. I won't go into the specifics because I don't want to mess them up, but there are a lot of changes that people just ultimately were like, yeah, this is going to kill D&D. Like, I'm going to go play something else. And that came out around like the 4th of January, or rumors about it started circling around the 4th. I think they got the actual document, the OGL 2.1 or 2.0 document itself, the draft, as Wizards is now calling it, was circulating, and they were kind of dark for a while.
It was given out to sign to people in that state.
Yes.
They then later called it a draft.
Yeah.
And it's like, so you were having people sign a draft?
Yeah.
Like, because that's why it leaked, because you were asking for signatures.
Yeah. So they, Linda was reporting on this nonstop, and they have a fantastic Twitter account that is following every single aspect of it. So that came out. Wizards was completely dark. They had a tweet come out, I think, that said, like, we know you want to talk about it. We know you want us to say something about it, but we don't have anything to say at the moment. So that released, that just pissed the community off even more so. And it was kind of at like a fever pitch when all that stuff happened. Paizo came out.
I absolutely love that you have a command for that in your chat, dude. That made me giggle.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. Dude. It was like the I'm rubber, you're glue defense.
Well, we'll get to it. Don't jump the gun.
Let's get to that.
Timeline-wise, Paizo came out on Thursday, January 12th, and announced a new neutral open RPG license. And what afterwards, it's kind of crazy how, like, this Paizo press release is like a masterclass in writing a press release and looking professional while also shitting all over someone else's company.
JP, can you real quick, for those who don't know, explain the relationship between Paizo and Wizards of the Coast?
Sure. Loosely, yes. I won't do the best of jobs. Paizo is a tabletop RPG publisher, and they publish Pathfinder and Pathfinder 1 and Pathfinder 2. And they were basically formed kind of the last time that Wizards attempted to do similar things that they're trying to do right now, in around D&D 4.0. And this was, I want to say, like early 2000s when all this happened. They split off and did Pathfinder, and now also do Pathfinder. And Pathfinder was made under the OGL, which is the license that Wizards of the Coast was utilizing at that point. And so Pathfinder was very successful when they released, and even more successful as time has gone on. And it's really become like an alternative to D&D 5th edition.
We got one of the biggest CRPGs on Pathfinder, not D&D, Pathfinder.
Yeah. Pathfinder, for example, co-mentioned CRPGs. There's two of them now, right? Kingmaker.
There's Pathfinder Kingmaker and Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous.
Yeah.
Both which are phenomenal RPGs, and all with Paizo.
And they use the Pathfinder license in that. They also make Starfinder, Pathfinder being like fantasy, clerics and fighters and all that. Starfinder being like sci-fi stuff. So they have multiple books.
One day a Starfinder CRPG. One day.
Yeah. There you go as well. So that all happened. And I highly recommend, if you're at all interested in this, reading the Paizo press release. It is phenomenally written, and whoever wrote this is earning their paycheck and hopefully more. It's beautifully written. That being said, the next day, Wizards released their press release on all of this. And everything that Paizo did correctly in their press release, Wizards did the complete opposite. Their press release. It's really bad. What they had to say was not very much, but what they wrote was just like, this is real stupid. It's really
it's like, you remember when Twitch announced the new 50-50 split? It's kind of like, right.
Yeah.
It's just, there's just a lot of things that Could have been vetted a little more, probably. A few more people should have put eyes on it and, approved it. And
well, it definitely reads to me, and I don't know if this is actually what happened. I have no way of knowing if this is what actually happened. It reads to me like this was a constantly evolving document. It finally reached the C-level suite at Hasbro or WotC or Wizard of the Coast, the people that make D&D or publish D&D. It reached someone on the C-level team, and the C-level team went in and just added all this shit, and they're like, all right, let's push it live. And people were like, no, we're going to push this live. It contains actual quotes like this. It's clear from the reaction that we rolled a 1. It's become clear that it's no longer possible to fully achieve all 3 goals while still staying true to our principles. So here's what we're doing. Towards the end of it, when they probably should have just ended the actual thing altogether, a couple of last thoughts, and this to me is my favorite aspect of the entire thing. It says, first, we won't be able to release the new OGL today because we need to make sure we get it right, but it is coming. Second, you're going to hear that people say that they won and we lost because making your voices heard forced us to change our plans. Those people will only be half right. They won, and so did we.
What?
That is, I've been doing this a long time. That is one of the most petty lines.
It's really bad.
I've ever seen from a brand.
Yeah.
In any industry. People are going to say that they won, but hey, we did too.
It's like
we did too.
And
because we're going to make a lot more money.
Within context of what they're trying to say, I think they were trying to let the community know, thank you for speaking up. Because of you speaking up, not only are you going to win, we're going to make a better product. But the way that they said it is just, it's bad. It's absolute
it's so
fucking
incredible.
Trash. It's absolute trash.
You would literally be, it's one of those self-aware wolf moments where they're aware that their PR is terrible.
Yeah.
They literally said, we rolled a 1 with what we tried to do. And then they end it with one of the worst lines that you could put in something like this. It's like this weird, how could you be so aware of your poor delivery and then deliver so poorly?
Yeah, it's really bad. And again, I understand what they were trying to do, but it honestly reads like the way that when I first read through it and talked about it on stream, it read like someone was still a DM stuck in the 80s and was trying to play a big bad evil guy from the 80s, and that's what they wrote.
I like how someone in chat was like, at least we can count on them being consistent.
Yeah.
Only one's consistently?
Consistently these days that's a thing. It's good.
Yeah.
So just so I understand, it's obviously this D&D stuff is blowing up, and I had to have explained it to me. So basically D&D has been running on open game license for 20 some plus crazy amount of years.
It was early 2000s is I think when they announced the OGL 1.1.
And so you have people on Twitch and on YouTube and game devs and Patreons. People are just making content everywhere. Yeah,
absolutely.
They're making games everywhere based on D&D. And so now D&D's we're gonna need somebody to have money. We're changing this entire thing. You all owe us money.
Yes,
they decided because they have this new D&D 1 coming out, and they're obviously putting work and time and resources into this. So it got to the point where they were like, okay, we need to get more in between the people who are using what we put the time and money into to make their money. We need to get our hands in those pots. Is essentially what they're trying to do, and they're being. The problem is, and it makes sense. It's a business trying to have more control over what. They're trying to get more back from what they put in, right? I mean, if you break it down, it makes sense. The problem is that for every modicum, small micro advancement you use in taking money from people using your thing, that just doubles the amount of tact, professionalism, and care you need to put into doing that. Nobody wants their resources taken from them. So if a company's going to step in and say, we want more resources from you, there are a plethora of excellent ways they could have gone about that. Like they could have done something where it's like, okay, we're going to give you way more tools moving forward. We're going to give you official licensing and all sorts of great stuff. And we're going to come up with all these new programs you can benefit in that have different ranges based on how much you make and blah, blah, blah. We're going to talk to you about how we're going to build these programs so we can all do it together as a community. But instead, they did what they're doing. And they basically just stood up and said, we're going to take a lot more of your shit.
Yeah, and it is.
You can't do anything about it.
I mean, with Tony Soprano on everybody.
The specifics of it.
They're strong arming. Yes, you say that as a jest, but they're strong arming it.
Yes,
they are strong arming more money out of the people that are passionately using their systems to try to generate their own income. So it's a really bad. Like you need such careful, precise PR for something like this. And they're literally just taking a hatchet and going like, give us money, give us money, give us money.
Yeah.
And nobody, and what do you know? Nobody likes it. What do you know? Right? Who'd have thought? Nobody likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it goes even beyond that. It goes beyond the idea that if you made any money, you were going to have to, and you still might even, and we haven't seen the actual new, whatever the document is that's going to be released 2.0, you were going to have to report how much money you were making to WotC. And you still might even have to.
They at one point it was like, oh, well, it's only going to be over 750 gross.
Yeah.
Not revenue, gross.
Yeah.
So it's like from what I understand, and please gurus that are on this, correct me if I'm wrong here, but from what I understand, if a company were to make over 750, they would not take a portion of the profit they were making. They would take a portion of the resource, which means they literally, in some situations, could take all the profit that is being made from those projects.
Yeah.
Literally take all the profit.
Yeah.
The way that it was written.
And it was 25% on excess revenue over 750,000, which
not gross profit.
Those are insane.
That's the
insane.
important line.
It's just insane how much that is. It's an insane amount. And that's targeting, like the Critical Roles or the Matt Colville company, MCDM, or I think is what it is. Yeah. The people that have like giant Kickstarters that do very much cross over that threshold.
A lot of people were saying, oh, this all happened because of Critical Role. This is Critical Role's fault. But it's like, if you really don't think that Critical Role didn't already have like legal understandings with the size that they are, like I think I'm 99% sure it's not, they're going after the whole pie. They're not going after the big players. They're going after the whole shebang. Like they make it, they want more parts of it. Doesn't matter who you are. We want that. Also, kudos to Critical Role, who released probably the most vacuous, empty PR thing. But at the same time, it's like we just got to say something.
Yeah.
We're going to say literally every single thing we can between the lines without actually putting a single thing in it.
Yeah.
But we're here.
It was very much like,
here.
God, that statement was very much like, hey guys, we can't say anything because we have 1 billion, already ongoing contracts with Wizards of the Coast. But we just want you to know that we're understanding that you want to hear from us, but we're not going to say anything at all. Thank you for reading this statement that says absolutely nothing.
And what's great is they said so little that you had some people going, this is literally absolutely nothing. And you had other people being like, this is a PR masterclass. If you see all the stuff they didn't say, this is literally one of the most well-written pieces. I mean, there's the Iliad, and then there's the Critical Role response to WotC. I mean, it's
that's
my
par
God.
for the course with Critical Role.
Brilliant.
My dad is a pretty powerful guy, and I don't want to say his name, but let's just pull a name out of a hat and call him Barth Dater.
There you go.
He's this really like super strong guy. Like, and I mean, let's just leave it at that, okay?
Yeah.
But no, it was
silly.
At the same time, like they're in a really awkward position. Like I did.
Oh,
think
absolutely.
It was a whole lot of saying nothing, but I think that it was good that they at least were like, we're not being quiet. It's basically what the message was. We're here and we're paying attention. I think they did like allude to something coming, which I think a lot of people picked up on. Like, oh, cool, Critical Role is going to make their own system or join up with Paizo or something like that. So they alluded that that the gears are turning, but they just didn't say what they're turning towards or why or any of that stuff. But again, they're in a really weird position as probably one of the largest public facing like partners, if you will.
Yeah.
It's a bad place for them to be in. So, you can't
Chat
really
brings up a good point too. Like it seems like like this is something that is not going to go well in U.S. courts either. It's like people, they've been operating like this for like 20 plus years, and now you change the rules on people, and it's like
that's exactly what Paizo said in their statement. They
that was Paizo's response.
Paizo, this is directly from Paizo's post. It says Paizo does not believe that the OGL 1.0a can be quote deauthorized ever. While we are prepared to argue that point in a court of law if need be, we don't want to have to do that, and we know that many of our fellow publishers are not in the position to do so.
Oh, quick Disney uses that? Oh, that's so all it's going to take is Disney enters the chat and
well, I mean, they probably have their own separate deals with WotC that supersede all of this, but yeah.
And for the people wondering, none of this at all in any way is going to affect Baldur's Gate 3. Larian had all of its stuff already locked down. Their stuff has nothing to do with the new OGL like that. That is a completely unrelated different thing. So that is Baldur's Gate 3 is okay. Yeah. We're good, guys.
Well, and Baldur's Gate is a trademarked thing. It is directly related. It is under the umbrella. This is not an offshoot. This is a direct like Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah, Wizards of the Coast licensed Larian to make the next Baldur's Gate game.
Yeah.
It is a separate, completely separate thing.
Yeah.
And also, like, I'm sure I've seen a lot of people talking about it. The Legal has a 22, 23 minute like little synopsis about what it like affects and what it doesn't and stuff like that. And the main point that I took away from it is really, really hard and nigh impossible to legislate rules of game systems. Like he brought up the idea of Monopoly. Like you can't call it Monopoly, but you can have all the rules of Monopoly.
Yeah. there's old I remember reading about this, the old legislation like about sports games and things like that. It's one of the reasons licensing is so heavily around the names and things of that nature for that exact same reason.
Yep.
So it's that would be WotC's not in the best place for that.
WotC's in a bad spot to begin with.
Not especially with how heavy-handed they're being with everything. They don't exactly have a huge amount of like oomph for that, you know.
With all this said, like the idea of is WotC facing any sort of like financial repercussions for this? I think the reason they came out and said something in the post that they did, while I think they were still planning to do it in the first place, I think it was hastefully done because on like Thursday or maybe Friday, there was an email that was leaked that essentially said that the higher ups at WotC only care or have their like pulse on where they are at the community is subscriptions to D&D Beyond. So that email like got leaked and so many people were canceling their D&D Beyond subscriptions that the page to cancel D&D Beyond started 404ing because it was so much traffic.
Wow. Sure it did.
Well, that was the other thing. When it first started 404ing, they were like, they shut it down. We can't cancel. But it was actually because there was so much traffic going to it.
Too much traffic. You can't handle the load.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like financial pushback. Not to mention the amount of Pathfinder books that were sold.
Giving us money? That's terrible. We'll get right on it.
Yeah.
Oh no.
We'll put top men on that problem. Top men.
I will try to fix it immediately.
Yeah. By the way, did you guys know about any of the Magic the Gathering stuff that happened around their 30th anniversary? Did you hear about any of that like 3 or 4 months back? Because I didn't know any of that till I started.
I don't think so.
Chat started like telling me about it.
Say that one more time.
Magic the Gathering did a 30th anniversary, and it absolutely destroyed like any good faith that Magic community has with WotC anymore.
Wait, what?
It was $1,000 vanity pack essentially that they put on sale, and none of the cards could be used within a tournament, but they were still like $1,000. They weren't like quote unquote legal tournament cards, but they still sold them. But they didn't sell well, thankfully. Like there weren't whales to go out and buy them, or they decided not to essentially. But there was a huge amount of
collector's
pushback.
Edition, basically.
Yeah, it was. They were very old cards, like Black Lotus,
Moxes and the Black Lotus. Yeah.
Oh,
so, like
it was
famous
still
cards.
Random.
Yeah, they were booster packs. It was booster packs. Yeah.
Oh, I vaguely remember this.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this. It was like a big outcry about that because it's like it felt like NFTs or
there's 4 packs for $1,000. That's what it was. Yeah, I think someone did the math. The chance of like pulling a Black Lotus was around like $46,000 average or something like that. It's just insane that's where they like went with it. Yeah, and then the other thing was they weren't letting local game stores sell them. You had to buy them straight from the company, like online.
No kidding.
Lame.
Yeah, so even like local game stores got screwed out of that.
It was basically proxy versions of their old sets, not tournament legal. You got 4 packs of randomized cards for $1,000, and you could get complete chaff.
Yep. Yeah.
So basically $1,000 at gambling for cards you can't even use.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember you couldn't even use the cards in a game.
Yeah, or in a tournament, you could play with whatever you wanted as long as just absolutely wild shit.
Play that game with me. That card's banned. Yeah, it's $1,000 card. You ain't playing with that with me.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So, it's a fucking shit show of massive epic proportions. The worst part about this, maybe the best part for the community, is this is all on the eve of like the big D&D movie coming out, I think in like a month or so, that has like major Hollywood star power in it.
There's a D&D movie?
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Is it actually called Dungeons and Dragons 2?
Yeah. I think. Is there a subtitle?
How did this sneak by? I didn't even know there was a D&D movie coming out.
I didn't think it snuck by. But I guess maybe it did. Let's see.
Chat. Okay, for the thanks, chat. A lot of people in chat are like, "Wait, what? A movie?"
Yeah.
So thank you. I don't feel that bad.
Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves is the name of it. It's got Chris Pine.
Oh God.
Michelle Rodriguez, Hugh Grant, like huge names. Yeah, that comes out March 31st. So not super close to it, but
let me guess. Yeah. It's some kind of rom-com comedy with some orcs in it or something.
No, it's what you would expect from a D&D movie. Chris Pine plays a bard. Sophia Lillis is the druid. There's a paladin. There's a thief. There's a berserker. There's a wizard. There's all that type of shit.
Because I remember the last D&D movie, like it had, it was really campy, like extremely.
Well, that was wow. Wasn't that the U-Bowl D&D movie? You know who that is when I say that? I want to say that's what you're referencing.
That's the bad movie.
It was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was really.
God, it was like awful. Oh my God.
They just slapped D&D on it. That's all they did.
Oh, that had Jeremy Irons and Jason Statham in it.
Yeah.
Didn't have a Wayans.
That's what.
Yeah,
it
had a Wayans in there too for comedic relief or whatever. Yeah. And man, as a fucking D&D like this, because this was before Twitch, before streaming, I believe. But as someone who at the time had an ongoing game with a bunch of friends every Saturday night, we were like, D&D movie, fuck yeah. And we went to it and we were just sad. We were just really, really sad because we were like, yay, Jeremy Irons, yay, Thora Birch. Like, we know these names. Let's actually get in the. And we watched it and I was like, did that dragon just get killed by a fucking door like a goddamn rancor? Like,
nice.
Dragons are ancient, like uber intelligent, like beings, like almost godlike beings, right? Right. I'm gonna go get my monsters manual. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm gonna make sure.
Yeah. So that's
well now
D&D shit.
I usually keep up with a lot of movies. I honest to goodness, I never heard of this one. Like I didn't. I don't remember.
The trailer honestly was like pretty good. I don't know if I'll go see it now.
Just watch the whole trailer. That's the thing.
I didn't think it was that bad. I thought it looked fine. But...
Oh, okay.
Cole, you think Arcane's bad? You have no conversation. Your opinion's immediately muted for me.
No, hey. It got better at the end. It was just a little slow in the middle. Okay. I liked Edge Runners.
It was okay. I agree with you there. It was okay.
It was okay. The music selection was, I feel, a little try-hardy. But yeah. It was playing like Whole Lot of Love and stuff, and it's kind of like I feel like the whole D&D aesthetic is like fantasy and epic RPG and stuff like that. To have them try to make it like it seems like they're trying to make it really cool.
Yeah, they're going for cool D&D.
Yeah, they're going for cool D&D, and like that's not. I don't feel like that's the best angle.
Okay, listen. I just want to say, someone in my chat mentioned this, and I was gonna. They took the words out of my mouth, but I'm gonna mention it.
What's that?
If you want some awesome fucking D&D shit, watch Record of Lodoss War. It's an anime, but it's like I'm not super into anime. Yeah, I'm not super into anime, but that is amazing. It's an amazing take on Dungeons and Dragons. It has like, it has the classes, fighter, priest, wizard, all the classes. It has familiar spells in it. They're obviously not like named the same thing, but it takes it seriously and it is fucking good.
Why did I think that was like a sci-fi?
What's that, guys?
Okay. Yeah, you bring a Record of Lodoss War, and the first thing that pops in my mind. Oh,
he's muted now. You can continue. What were we saying, Bert?
No, it's like I wanted to stop what I was gonna say before I saw the child on the screen.
No, he's muted. He's kind of
like I had the Xbox 360. I believe it was Record of Lodoss War. They sent you this. You bought this big box set for the Xbox 360. You remember playing that game? I hope I hope this is the right game. But I'm pretty sure it was
they have
Record
a newer
of Lodoss
game,
War, wasn't it, chat?
Was it spelled LODOSS?
I believe it was. Like it was an RPG game. Yeah. So the only reason when you bring that up, Zeke, the only reason this game stands out is because they sent me a mouse pad, and it was one of those mouse pads that had like the boobs were the armrest, like because it was all about having relationships in this game to advance the next generation.
Oh yeah, right here.
Your stats to your son or daughter.
It says Record of Lodoss War Online came out in April 2017 and closed on October 31st, 2019. So the game was also released outside of Japan. That's probably what you're referencing.
It wasn't online though. It was a single player game. Chat, tell me if I'm crazy here. I know it was Record of Lodoss War, something like that, and you had that big mouse pad. Chat made fun of me for years because I had that mouse pad. I was like, it's a comfortable mouse pad.
Was it a Metroidvania style game?
No, it was like an RPG.
That's the newer one. That's the one with D-Lit as the main character.
Yeah, it was Xbox 360. Yeah, it was Xbox 360 is what it was.
Gosh,
hold on. It's probably in my cabinet. Hold on.
I don't know.
People are saying
maybe I'm crazy.
I'm looking at the wiki of all the
Agarest. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Burke was playing a sex game, Agarest War.
Right, a sex
classic
game.
Classic
Burke.
Jeez, yeah, you're thinking
away from the sex games.
You're thinking of Agarest War. That's what everyone's saying.
Oh no!
Agarest Generations of War came out on Xbox 360, Switch, Android, PS3, iOS, and Windows.
Maybe Burke is playing Agarest Genitals of War.
Maybe that's so.
That's where my brain, because I heard war, so I don't know. I just thought that was it.
Maybe so.
Never mind me. Just ignore what I just said.
There was
anyway, he had him a nice mouse pad.
Okay, there you go. You got a nice mouse pad out of it. That's
What was the name of the anime that Zeke recommended? Records of Lodoss War.
Yeah.
LODOSS.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good one.
And you can watch it. It's obviously originally in Japanese, but you can watch it in English. It's not too bad. The dubs aren't too bad.
Yeah. It's older, right? Like when did that?
It originally aired in 1990.
Gotcha. Wow.
So it was 1991.
30 plus years old.
Yeah. Older.
Or one season. Yeah, it's like a mini series. It's has a beginning, middle, and end.
Right.
Okay.
I don't have too much more news. There was a quote. Ben Brode, who is the game director at Marvel Snap, I was sharing this with Rami, and Rami was actually impressed with the quote as well. So I wanted to read it here because I think it's kind of an interesting look into game development. At this point in the interview, they're talking about the features in Marvel Snap, but it has to do with like this idea of crunch. It reads, people were surprised when a few features weren't launched in the original version of Marvel Snap, a way to play against friends and a way to play friendly games with no risking of losing cubes. I wanted to know why neither of these had been seen as priorities to be in place before the official release. And the quote is, I wouldn't say they've not been a priority, but in game dev, you have to push your dates or crunch or do effective scope control. These are the 3 levers you have. And the crunch lever is a fake lever. It doesn't actually do anything. You burn everybody out and it doesn't give you more stuff over the long term. So the other 2 are your dates or your scope control. This was extreme scope control. Do we need this? Absolutely. I think the answer is clearly no. This has been successful and exciting. The game has been successful and exciting, It made a huge splash without it, but on the bright side, it's coming. The idea to look at like game development with that as a lens is kind of an interesting thing. Because you start to see why things get cut or why crunch starts to happen towards the end of the game.
I'm going to be honest. I like the quote and I like where it's coming from, but the idea that crunch doesn't do anything is kind of weird.
Well, I mean,
I feel like that's kind of an idealistic view on it. Kind of.
I guess it could be idealistic, yeah.
But I mean, like the idea that crunch doesn't get more work done quicker. I mean, that's the huge problem with crunch is you're making them do more work quicker. There's more getting done faster. It's just not feasible to do that in the long term.
Yeah.
But to say like it, anyway, whatever.
I see what you're saying.
I like the quote. I like the quote.
Yeah.
I mean, I think honestly, like I think in a perfect world that scope would always take precedent over that. But then of course, every time you limit scope, I mean, that's when you're dealing with, at that point, you're also having to deal with PR from the fans.
Right.
I mean, you know, like
that's exactly what it's saying.
Cutting. Yeah. So I mean, it's, you know, it's who do you want to let down more? The people working on the game or the people that are really looking forward to the game? And that's a decision no one wants to make.
Right. I think it's
somebody's going to lose.
I think it's a decision like every game developer ends up making when it comes down to it. Unfortunately, in today's day and age.
Yeah.
I did want to mention this. I don't know too much about it. I only saw the headline. Code.
Okay.
Did you?
No, real quick, a lot of people are commenting on it in chat, and I think and I think the good point that I kind of missed there is that people are saying that the crunch doesn't do anything in the long term.
Yeah, it's a short term fix.
Now that he's I see what I get that. I get that. Yeah, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. Anyway, sorry.
The Callisto Protocol leaving developers out of the credits. Do you know the specifics around that, Co? I saw the headline.
I don't.
I didn't dive into it. I could try to dive into the article here real quick.
To put it bluntly, I did the same thing. I saw that they cut about 20 people. I also, really unfortunately, also saw that they were hoping that project was going to make 5 million, and apparently it was falling short of 2. So yeah, dude, not just. I tell you, from the day one patch being messed, like 100% their fault, it didn't make it. Didn't make expectations. Major game design flaws. Like it's really unfortunate how troubled that project is. It's just I feel bad for them.
Yeah. The GameIndustry.biz article says, confirming what Co mentioned, roughly estimated 20 people across a variety of departments were left off the game's credits. Striking Distance representative did not return a request for comment. One source said, it definitely stings. It sucks. I made a good amount of contribution and worked on it for a length of time. They edited that out, I assume. To just not be there at all is shitty. While it's not unheard of for developers who leave a project before completion to be left out of the credits, our sources confirm that the studio had no such policy that was ever communicated to employees, and none of the people we spoke with consider the Callisto Protocol's omissions normal. One describes them as egregious, leaving some senior developers, leads, and directors who made significant contributions, including people who had worked at Striking Distance for over a year or had history with Striking Distance CEO Glenn Schofield at a previous studio, Sledgehammer Games. Another describes some of those left off of credits as, quote, really core people who built the studio up. So not a good look. I don't know if there was like an update to that, but yeah.
Kind of a
the credits is like nothing,
playing favorite situation.
What do you mean, Burke?
Yeah. Why?
Like it's that's such a small thing. Like,
it's such a small thing to
put somebody's name. Like, why would you take somebody's name off that? It's like that's like not a big deal at all. To just, hey, this person thanks. It's like a thank you message overall. You know, it's like 100%. I don't get why that would be something that you would be like, I'm going to take their name off there. Like that seems make no sense to me at
petty.
all.
Yeah, it does.
It's really petty. Like, you got to go out of your way to do that.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And another good point about ego.
Won't go out on a date with me, huh, Deborah? Let's see how you like not being recognized in the credits.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's kind of interesting though. This is not the first time this has happened. I mean, didn't God of War have issues with some of the people not being credited properly in the credits? Yeah. I mean, it apparently is a lot more of a thing. So I'm guessing it's a bit more further reaching it than we're giving credit for. I didn't mean to do that. It's a bit more further reaching than we're giving it credit. Specifically because when you take somebody's name out of the credits, I'm sure it becomes a lot harder for that person to be like, yeah, I worked on that. So I mean, it's kind of like you're removing experience, you're removing like actual resume
work
that person that exactly. So I mean, it'd be kind of weird if you're applying for a job and you're like, yeah, I worked on Callisto Protocol, but I'm not in the credits, and it's like, well, let's give them a call and find out why, and and then that leads to some weird like, oh well, they were they were loyal enough and we didn't like what they did, and it's like all of a sudden that's created this big thing. But yeah, I mean that's. Even honestly, like in the credits, it should be like, yeah, this guy brought me water every day. His name is Phil Barker. Like, there's no like, if somebody touched the game, they should be in the credit in any
put
form.
Dogs in the credits.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it's crazy to think that you would deny somebody that put anything, a single frame into a game. If they put it in there, like they worked on it, they should be in the credits.
Yeah,
that's crazy to think otherwise.
I agree. Last little bit of news, just so folks watching the show don't miss free-ish stuff. Dead Space Remake will be shipping with Dead Space 2 as a free Steam game.
If you pre-order.
Oh, is it only for pre-orders? Is that the part of the headline they missed here?
Let me confirm that. I'm pretty sure it's if you pre-order. If we can get a confirmation on that, that'd be great.
I'm reading the article right now. They don't actually
maybe not.
It says bundle with classic Dead Space 2 is a free Steam game, blah blah blah. It's previously reported Dead Space 2 remake. Oh. I don't
okay.
What happens if I click this? What happens if I go and try to buy
you got a virus?
Oh, it says right on their Steam page. Pre-purchase now, and you'll also receive Dead Space 2
and it says
when
here,
the remake launches on January 27th.
This is the article I read that made me think that I'm Polygon. The upcoming Dead Space remake isn't arriving until January 27th, but those interested can get a little bonus. People who pre-purchase the new Dead Space on Steam will get a copy of Dead Space 2 for free. It currently sells for $20.
Okay.
So I think it is a pre-order thing.
Got it.
I don't think it's going to always just be free with it.
Noted. And then the Xbox Game Pass games that are coming to Xbox Game Pass: Monster Hunter Rise, Persona 3 Portable, and Persona 4 Golden. So if you have like 700 hours to play,
you're welcome. You are very welcome.
Yeah. Jeez,
you don't have to buy a PS fucking TV. You're welcome. You don't have to find that little fucking game cartridge in order to goddamn put it in your PS TV to play it on your new fucking monitor. You're welcome.
True. Yeah. Let's not do a break. I don't want to cut and do a 45-minute second VOD. We're just going to keep going on. So Zeke, if you got to use the restroom, now's the time.
That's a good idea. I will.
Yeah.
I've been drinking lots of coffee.
There you go. Burke, I want to talk to you about Company Heroes 3. You were playing it the other day. It's multiplayer only right now. Is that right? How?
Yeah.
First off, what's your experience with Company of Heroes? Let's start there while I pull up the VOD.
Well, me and Fairlight were both playing it, and Katie, and we basically learned that we're garbage.
Yeah, no, that game's really fucking hard, turns out.
Sacral was having some stuff there too. Yeah.
It's a really hard game.
Well, it's like like the game obviously is playing the veterans of Company of Heroes 1 and 2. The game is very micro-intensive. Yeah. And I think that's not what I was prepared. It's like Warcraft 3 back in the day. Just you got to make sure you micro every little aspect of the thing. Your unit, you can bring out you can spend a ton of points on a big mega heavy tank, and that sucker gets blown up in like 2 seconds, man. It's just dead if you're not paying attention or doing it perfectly right. But I still like it though, even though you played a game that you absolutely are terrible at, but you're just like,
no, I don't know what that. I don't do that every day, Bert. What are you talking about? What do you mean? Why would I do that?
It's fun.
Why would I do that over and over and over and and just lose nonstop, Burke? That would be stupid.
It's our daily life.
To explain the joke, JP does that every day. For anyone that's not catching it. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my gosh. No, seriously though. Like we ultimately I found the most fun in this game is queuing up in 4v4s.
Yeah.
And just like then you're like with 3 really good players.
So
and then you're like, as long as you can just like contribute to whatever battle they're doing, I had fun, you know?
Do they have like in StarCraft it used to be called I think Team Melee or something like that, but I'm blanking on how you would actually describe it. Can like is there a way to play co-op to where 4 people control like one faction, one race, one thing? Or is it 4 different armies always?
It's 4 different armies, but you can all be the same faction.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's 4 different
so
armies.
Like 4 players of Terran.
Yeah.
And using StarCraft as an example. But you're actually watching our good match. This is like the match where we actually win against people who were just as bad at it as we were.
Yeah.
So this was like the only match where it was so close down to the wire.
I played I would probably 100, 200 hours of Company Heroes 2 back in the day. And you are exactly right in the sense that if you put a random insert unit here and it's not behind proper cover, or it's elevated, or the enemy's elevated and you're down low, like you just get slaughtered. Like absolutely not even fair in terms of the fight. And it's very difficult.
Micro intensive.
Yeah.
You have to pay attention to everything, to all your units. Like there's no,
there's no unit that doesn't believe in that rule. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like with StarCraft, you just you pump out a bunch of Marines and you can just click and over them, assign them to group 2 and just send them in, and just click around. This is like, well, this is a guy on a bike. This is infantry with a grenade. This is a tank that can only do this. This is a tank that can only do that. It's like everything has to be positioned right.
Well, that was the other thing is when it came to balancing, the maps were super difficult to balance because if like a certain area was elevated, it became like the power spot in the map or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so balance was just kind of all over the place, if I recall, in the very early days of Company Heroes 2, but they eventually figured out proper ways to do it. Did you experience anything like that, or were you guys just kind of throwing units at other units and see what happens?
Oh, I couldn't imagine the balancing. Like my mind was so far like right now they have like there's abilities that you have. You could kind of, I don't know if they show them on my screen right onto the right of me. There's like, you see a little man there and there's some other little things on the side of the screen. Yeah. Those. When you level those up, they lead to like, because there's that diamond that says a 1 right there. As that levels up, you start spending those points and you'll start getting abilities that could literally wipe the map. Like if somebody's like got like 6 tanks and they're pushing in on that zone right there, I go over there and I do it, an aerial bombardment or something, and it just kills everything. Your whole army's just deleted in like 2 seconds.
I remember.
And
shit
so
like that.
that was like some of the most frustrating parts of the game. It's just like it took me like 5 minutes to get this army, and this guy just instantly drops something, and my entire army is dead.
Yeah.
And it's like, what are we doing? Like you get so frustrated by that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
so by your description,
Burke, it's anti-clumping. You're not supposed to be clumped. You're not supposed to clump your army. Dude, we were spread out across the thing. It bombed the entire map, man.
Oh, God. Sounds like Company Heroes. What were we going to ask, Zeke?
So by your description, Burke, if normal RTS games are like, I don't know, like as fun as chewing broken glass, this one adds needles under your fingernails. So that's fun. That's good. That sounds like a time.
Yeah, this game makes you lay down on a bed of nails, and then I come in and body slam on top of you while you're on that bed. So yeah, that's what it does.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong, Burke. The game in a lot of ways is positioning as king. And if you get stuck in a bad position, the ability to get unstuck in that bad position is not as simple as moving a unit out of the way, because that unit just dies. Like there's no micro involved. You just die because you're not properly planned in terms of where you're sitting.
All depends on the player. Like, you know, if someone's like really good at this game, like I've seen them do some incredible stuff. Like I thought, okay, I got my machine gun, they're pinned, and then all of a sudden my machine gun is like, da, 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 and then it's like, your machine gunner's dead. Huh?
What? Toss a grenade
because
or
the guy has
or something.
Yeah, he's either got a sniper or he's got like mortar guys all way off to the side, and he just mortared the position, and I didn't even see that. You know, like you have to be Data to play this game from Star Trek. You have to be able to analyze that everything conceivable thing that could happen to your machine gunner could happen, and you have to be prepared to counter it at any point in time.
Let me ask you this: in this game, when you ask like a unit of like 5 or 6 people to go to, like, say the beach, does one of them just decide not to go, or does one of them turn around and go the opposite direction because they think it's shorter to go over the river to the beach, but they don't have a boat, and then they realize that and go to, and then they turn around and then they join their. Does that happen in this game?
Yes, actually it does, because like because the game likes to try to be realistic. So the way the vehicles operate, sometimes sometimes they Austin Powers it. They're like, okay, I go. Right. Yeah, all right, I'm getting to your objectives, boss. I'm getting there. You know, they do that. You know, like they're trying to figure out which way to go. But no, like you can't play this like typical RTS. You can't just click down, drag your box over a bunch of units, and say go here. If you do that, they're all gonna go there and then die.
Yeah,
because you can't.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah,
you have to spread them out. You have to spread them out, or they just get obliterated.
It's why RTSs are a dying breed. Yeah.
Zeke, in your example, would that generate some kind of alert, like a red one, say, or something of that nature?
I would say yes.
Yeah,
I would absolutely say it would generate.
You should have just made Tanya's, man.
A crimson alarm.
Just V2 rockets, Tanya's.
Okay,
that's all you need. Bunch of V2s and
so
some
much
Tanyas.
to this game. It's coming to like, you know, like I said, I'll do the 4v4 and just have fun just watching the melee. But like when a game releases, like I want to play it because the campaign is going to be in Italy, because it's North Africa, Italy at this point stage, and it's going to play like a campaign like Total War's map. You know, where like you advance your army here and you advance over to this point. And I'm like, I'll just put the AI to easy and just enjoy myself. You know,
sure.
And then that's it.
You think, right? You think putting it on easy would make it enjoyable?
Dude,
you think?
Those red alert maps were tough.
Dude, you have red alert PTSD. Like someone will say a term and it will like trigger memories. Oh yeah, you think that's easy, wouldn't you? Oh, you would, wouldn't you?
No, it's honestly just nice to understand like a little bit of what Burke is saying. You know, it's the basic gist of most RTS games is the same. You know, it's, you know, produce units, go fight. You know, that can group them up, don't group them, whatever, that kind of shit. And it's, you know, it seems like it's the core of it has not changed. It's just like the minute details, like adding of thousands of them to the core of the mechanic.
It's why they're a dying breed. 100% right. Not much has changed, and the power fantasy for RTS games is people still want to hit max supply in any RTS game and right-click their max supply over to the enemies and win. And then if you don't, it feels like shit. It sucks.
Yeah, this game does not. This game is very unit-based. So like a single unit, you're supposed to level them up. You don't throw them to the wolves to die. They're supposed to survive, and they level up. And as they level up, they get better and stronger. So you want them to retreat if the situation doesn't look good.
Yeah. And
I come from an RTS background. Like, this is all I grew up playing was RTS games. Strategy games are what I adore most on my channel. But, you know, and I know my limitations, man. And this is definitely one of my limitations, this game right here. Because I cannot keep track of this much stuff going on at a single time.
Yeah. It seems like in RTS terms, you're a macro player, not a micro player. Right.
Yeah. No, I can't micro. No, I can't micro every unit. And like, there's some people that do that. Like, there's definitely some Twitch streamers out there that are just like, their mouse is moving. You know, like, click, 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 click. You know, and I'm just like, I like fighting the battles, but enjoying the experience. Like, I'm kind of very much of a ooh and ah kind of guy. You know, like, ooh, look at the explosions. Look at the tank coming in. Oh wow. You know, I love getting immersed into it. And the other people are just like, this is a ones and zeros games, and I'm gonna dominate you with my ones and zeros. Click, 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 click. Like, wow, dude, I can't keep up with you.
Yeah. Well, it's like, again, RTS terms, it's like probably 30, 40 actions per minute for you and like 300 for them. right?
Yeah.
Just
insane
amount of APM difference for sure. So yeah, at least the single player aspect. Are you so excited for Company? It sounds like you are. Sounds like they're.
Oh yeah, if I could slow it down, slap it on easy, and just try to just enjoy the campaign, and just like organize my units and just have a good time with it. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna treat it just like it. I've always had fun playing these games. I've done that a lot with the campaign, and Company Heroes 2 is also fun. And so they're really changing the campaign in 3. And I love the setting because like North Africa and Italy has always been an interesting part of World War II for me. So yeah.
Cool. And this is still, it's only multiplayer access right now, right? If you buy it, the single player is not available whatsoever.
If you want to go through pain, go ahead and load it up, install it, do a multiplayer match, and then enjoy some suffering. Yeah. Those veterans will make you suffer.
I think it's redundant. Like, if you don't have to use pain and RTS in the same sentence. It's just
one-to-one.
You can just say one or the other.
Yeah.
You should I was talking before the show started. I was talking to Z because he's doing Command and Conquer, and I'm like, me and Fairlight have been going down the RTS, oldies together. Yeah. Katie joined us, Anthony and Grims, and we were playing games like oh gosh, what was it, 8-bit, and then we played something. Anyway, recently we played Supreme Commander, like from way back in it, Allied, what's it called, chat? Allied something, Allied Faction or Allied Front or something. And we've been playing that.
Yeah.
And that game is like, that's intense, because it's, I kind of think like, how did the PCs run this game back then? Because you can have like thousands of units on the screen. And we're getting bombed by bombers, and there's giant walking mechs coming up from the water and walking into our base and just obliterating us.
Yeah.
I was like, man, these games were great. Like, let's get some more of that.
It's true. Well, if you hit StarCraft 2, let me know. Just send me a message. I'll jump in.
We're on our way. We're gonna do it. It's gonna happen.
Let me know. Well, I'll jump in and do something. What else you been playing besides this? Anything sticks out? Want to talk about? You play a lot of different stuff than the three of us, so I'm always curious.
Oh gosh.
You know what? Tell us about Eco.
Yeah, I was waiting for the moment when I was gonna do this, and I know Willy Wonka's like sitting in there going, "When's he gonna bring up Eco? When's he gonna bring up Eco?" Like, this is a great time. All right, so this is gonna be the 3rd season of Eco that the Late Shift does.
And those that have never heard of it, like, let's start at the beginning. Like, what is Eco?
Yeah.
All right. The general idea of Eco is that it's you play the game starting with nothing. Like you start at ground zero with nothing. You have a planet, and there's supposed to be an asteroid impact. Okay, and so this asteroid's going to come in like 28 days. So you and all the people on the planet have to tech up to the point to stop that asteroid from impacting. But there's a catch. You can tech up to a point and cause enough pollution and environmental damage that the planet will kill you instead. So you have to do this halfway, surviving and also working with people, because you have to establish governments, you have to establish laws, you have to have an economy, you have to have a social ability to talk to people and negotiate stuff. So it's a game that really pushes for people to interact, work on your business, open up a shop, sell stuff, make stuff, become profitable, and at the same time, better watch out for that asteroid. Now, we've done that for like the last 2 seasons where it's been the asteroid. This season, though, doing a little something different. We're going to do it so like the asteroid has already struck. And we're going with a Fallout style of the world. So we all start in a vault deep underground, and this is all player made, player created. We have Willie got an entire team of people that created this vault. It goes deep underground, and when we start the roleplay server, everyone's going to be underground, and we have to live in there for 24 hours. Negotiate, figure out how the roleplay is going to go, who's going to be what, who's going to do this or whatever, and it's just 100% focused on interaction, so that the characters will start to meet each other right away, and groups can be formed or whatever. And then when the door opens and lets us out, that's when we go out to the world that's been destroyed, and we're going to try to exist on this destroyed world.
So it's like the world going to be like irradiated and like, how are
they
you
don't do irradiation,
already polluted?
But when these asteroids hit, they cause huge damage to the environment and huge like craters and such. And so, and then also the seawater might rise. So there's ways to fix it. The game allows you to like repair the world. So we're going to see what we can do in trying to make things simple. Get back to the, the good days before the dark days struck. And after that, who knows what'll happen after that. But he's got an entire mod team.
That's when
coders.
The second asteroid's going to hit.
That's when the second asteroid. Yeah, the tail asteroid, right? The one that was following behind us, even bigger.
They come in threes.
But you could see, like in the video, like everything you're seeing is player made. There was literally nothing. It's I guess it's voxel based. That's the cubes, right? That's like Minecraft, yeah. So it's kind of voxel based, but it just adds so much, man. Like I love all the interesting storylines that pop up because people could create and do whatever they want, and now they have they are actually working with the eco devs themselves, who's helped us out with a lot of stuff. They have an entire police system now. They added some new cars just from modding, just from like, man, I'm so impressed by this team that they've put together to just create an entire system. So like we have this such a great team that's made so much stuff.
Someone in my chat, because we've I think I want to say maybe Max and you were on in the past, and we've talked to you about it before. Is essentially what I'm getting.
Yeah.
But someone in my chat mentioned that this was a game that was for kids originally to show kids how the world works. Is that true? Huh.
Yeah, they wanted to. I think they were originally making it for schools. I think it was, so you could see like how you have an impact on your in the area around you, your environment. Yeah, it's not just environmental; it's also society. It's government as well, because like you have to have an election for your leader. And so they have to go around campaigning like, I will fix the prices of the seeds, and we will deal with those evil farmers who are charging too much money for your business, They get into all this kinds of stuff. But when you add role play, because it's such a perfect role play with no combat, by the way.
Yeah, there's no combat in the game at all.
GTA style combat. No combat of any kind.
So what do you do if you're really pissed at someone else, though?
Well, we had to see, hold on. There goes the alarm to say wake up.
Oh, wake up, Burke. You gotta get ready for the day.
Time to get up, day and start your day. No, but like basically, we modded in, or the dev team, the modders that Willie put together. They modded in like a police system and a criminal system as well.
Oh, okay.
Which I think the eco devs want to add as well. So like basically, you're supposed to be able to make lockpicks, and you can go to somebody's home and you can kind of like break in and steal like a couple items and then escape.
Yeah.
But that instantly is going to alert the police to your presence and what you're doing. So then we have a cop car now, and people drive up in their cop car looking for the suspect, and it leaves like a little note. It says like, you found some fingerprints. You have to go take it to a thing to find out who it could possibly be out of these 3 possible people. And then you have to go like talk to them. Where were you at 10 p.m. at 5? Like a lot of good role play elements to this, man.
Yeah.
It's so freaking cool what they can do with it.
How many streamers you guys got involved this year? So far, I guess. I'm sure people are still applying, right?
Oh gosh, a lot. I can't remember the exact number. Willie would actually know, but there's so many people apply to this every year, and it's sad because the game can only have like I think 100 people on a server. So we would love to see it like get crazy. Crazy amount of more streamers involved, but there's only so much room,
Yeah. Well, when does it
That's
all start?
100 at a time, right? Not like total.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100 at a time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there a limit to how many people can like be a part of the server outside of at the time?
Yes, because like last time we did it, it's so popular that it's packed. Like it was full like all the time. So nobody could ever get in. And it's like, man, geez, we don't want to like blanket like tons of people who are just going to sit in queue all night, So it's a limitation of a really cool game. It's like, it would be great if we could get to that number up further. And I hope that the eco devs look into that, because that's the only real limitation is the amount of people that could be on a server at a single time. It would be way bigger if we could just be like, hey, because the apps that we get like 500 plus,
Wow.
And it's still climbing. And it's like, I would love to just be like, hey, all 500 can get in. Let's create a massive, huge world and just go crazy with it. But still a limitation with the game, because there's a lot going on in the background with this thing as it is.
Is there any sort of functionality to taking your character to another server?
No. Each server is dependent on that. So every time you go to, you're starting over, basically.
Okay.
How long is this going to run till it kind of runs its course, or do you have like a set end date? I know you have a set start date. Feel free to promote that all you want, but
yeah, it's on the 22nd is when it starts. And if you want to sign up, you have to go to lateshift.tv or lateshifttv. It's one of those.
Okay.
I know. I think it's lateshifttv.com or lateshift.tv. It's one of those. I don't know.
Willie will link it somewhere, I'm sure.
Yeah, that they you have to go there and you have to sign up and you put in the application. But I think it's going to go until it's done. Yeah, lateshift.tv. Thank you, mods. There you go. But
yeah, we were thinking about sponsoring BurkeBlack again to do our game, but man, he got to work on his verbiage. He doesn't know how to like. He doesn't do his research before he does this shit.
Zeke, he didn't have the cheat sheet. I didn't send him the cheat sheet before that. Yeah, we need the cheat sheet.
I think there's no end date to it. So like they usually let it go. I mean, obviously streamers being streamers, we'll play it until a new shiny comes along.
Well, you got a while for that.
No. Yeah, so there's going to be a lot of time. I'm
Wait, when is it starting?
January 21st.
22nd.
22nd, sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, when's the first release? Well, Dead Space at the end of the month, and when's the next big release, actually? I thought stuff was starting in early Feb.
There's Forspoken, there's Hogwarts, there's Dead Space, and I think that's it. I'd have to pull up JP to know off the top of my head. Or no more.
Atomic Heart is at the end of the month, and then Ishin is at the end of the month.
Yeah, those same days.
Fire Emblem is the 20th. I was gonna say there's I think like there's stuff is the dominoes kind of start falling with Engage on the 20th, and then it's like I think every week something is coming out.
I think Dead Space releases like in the middle of it.
Dead Space is 27th.
Yeah.
Jedi Survivor, is that February?
That's March.
March, okay. And so is RE4, right? RE4 is March.
Yeah. When I talked
24th.
to them about it, I was like, the 10th seems to be like when you'll start to lose streamers. Like, because it's like you'll have like a solid 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then Dark and Darker is back in February too.
Oh, it is. They announced that? Do we have a date for that?
They announced it last playtest that they'd be returning in February.
So they don't have a date for it yet. It's just February. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to derail it. That's awesome though. Like,
I think Dead Space will probably be like a day or two of streaming.
Yeah.
At max. Yeah. So I don't see Dead Space completely derailing the eco thing, but
I don't think any of those. Yeah. I mean, eco seems kind of like a centerpiece. Like, I mean, you can always play the other stuff later. It's not like you play those right when they come out. So
yeah, I agree.
No, like I'm expecting it. It'll be they don't shut it off. So like even if streamers aren't playing it, like the people last time we did, they played a month after the streamers stopped playing it.
Yeah.
After the other stuff we moved on to the thing. I think we played it for almost a month. That last January. It was it's a lot.
There's still people that play GTA RP every single day and have every day. That was big, right? So like it makes sense. I get it. I understand it. It's an easy game to log in when you have a continual story and you've been building towards things, and an easy game like that when it comes to just turning on the stream and immediately going into the RP world. So sure it'll exist for as long as, like you said, as long as you guys want it to. Anything else to promote for it? January 22nd release date, starting in a vault. Lateshift.tv is, I think, signups.
Yep, lateshift.tv. And that's it. It'll be on the 22nd. They've the big, massive thanks to Willy Wonka and to the entire animators and artists and the mod people, everybody that and to the Eco. Of course, I should probably thank the people that made the game.
No,
big thanks to Eco as well.
Don't need to do that. There's no need for that. I'm looking over.
Game devs will find no quarter here.
That's true. I'm just looking over to see anything else that you played. What is WarTales? I saw someone playing that the other day. Do you know what WarTales is?
Oh yeah.
I get asked
came out with co-op for that.
Time. What is it?
It's so much fun as co-op Like really, it really is fun. I would love to play more of it. But it's the idea is that they kind of drops you into this world. There's a war going on, but you're just a guy in it, or a gal, whatever you want to make, you can make. So you have a band. You're supposed to. It's almost like a little bit of a survival game in a war-torn world, because you have to manage your food, you have to manage your energy levels, you have to manage your party so that they don't hate each other. And then it becomes kind of like a battle system like a Divinity Original Sin, where it's you cast abilities, you have to tank up against other things. And if you do it co-op, everybody gets assigned characters. And that's their character for the entire playthrough. And characters live and they die. So, if somebody, if you allow them to take 2 hits, I think if one hit to get them to low health, and if they take another hit after that, they're dead, dead, dead. No coming back. They're gone.
Wow.
I love that kind of stuff.
Can they then get a new character?
Yeah.
Or do they have to
how do they get back in?
You have to get another
Perks
character.
like they don't. They ban your IP. You're done. You're done. It deletes the game from your computer.
Yeah, they basically have to either find another character to add to the party, or they could just
in like a town or something.
Yeah, hire another character. Yeah,
hey, let me skip around. So I'm assuming we're seeing combat here, and you're watching.
Yeah, that's a battle. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can like run into battle. Like you can be attacked by bandits while you're out just running around. You got to go to town and craft stuff. We were ambushed by wolves in the forest, and they just absolutely destroyed us, and we had to restart and run away from the forest. You have roleplay elements of talking to people, like who do you want to side with? Do you want to help these guys against these guys, or do you want to kill everybody? And oftentimes, Cream would tell we would kill everybody. So it's like, I like his weapon. I want that. Let's kill them all. Okay,
got it. Is it early access or is it 1.0?
I think it's still early access.
Let me pull it up.
I think because they just released the co-op, and I don't recall if it's
early access on Steam. Yeah. Wow, it's got a shit ton of reviews. 8,200 reviews, very positive. Came out December 1st. You can play.
Oh, by the way, the co-op is just for if you want to do co-op. This is perfectly playable solo. Mm-hmm. So I don't think it's designed for solo. The co-op is something they just kind of tossed in. It is absolutely designed as a single player enjoyable experience. You just manage your party. Think of it like a CRPG more than anything else. That's what it feels like. It's just that you're living in a war-torn world and you have to survive with your little merry band.
Huh. It's like little dungeon. That was a cave, I guess we just saw a little dungeon or something, some sort.
Yeah, we had that guy at that fort told us to go kill that guy.
Oh,
and
okay.
that guy inside the cave said if we go kill those other guys, instead he'll give us this. But we saw that the reward was not nearly as good, so we murdered him instead.
Naturally, yeah. So sounds about right.
Have you played Battle Brothers?
I have not, but when I was playing this, I was constantly told to play Battle Brothers by chat.
Okay, I'm wondering how this compares to it.
I have no.
Is that a newer game?
That's a game that's on my list. Yeah, Battle Brothers is kind of a tile-based version, non-3D, that I've heard very, very, very good things about. People have played that game for hundreds and hundreds of hours. And I've heard WarTales is similar, but I'm not sure.
This is Battle Brothers.
I'm not really sure how they compare. I'm kind of looking to talk to somebody who has a lot of time in both and see how it all works. You can see it looks very similar to what we're just seeing, just not in 3D.
Yeah. Huh. Is that fully released or no? Battle Brothers. I can just hit escape and tell you right now. It is fully released, yeah. $30.
I think they even have DLCs and stuff. Yeah.
$60 for all the DLC. It's on sale right now.
Battle Brothers is one of my rainy day games where it's like I know I'll like that game. I just also know I'm probably going to need 60 plus hours for it. So whenever I have a nice big block open up, we'll see.
Yeah, I know. The chat was telling me constantly Battle Brothers. Constantly, you need to play Battle Brothers because if you like this game, you'll like Battle Brothers. So it's definitely equivalent.
My buddy Dick Hammer, he played a lot of that game. A lot of Battle Brothers. Good old Dick Hammer. It's Richard Hammer on Twitch if you're looking.
Yeah. Don't. I mean, what happens if you Google, the not Richard Hammer? Does it go to him?
You ever heard of the Pain Olympics?
Let's do that live on air right now. What do you guys think?
Let's not speak of this again.
Let's just let me just go over to this other screen. And we'll just do some Googling. We'll just see.
Can you go ahead and just cut the feed of my channel before you pop that up? That'd be great. Thanks. Thanks.
Oh God. Anything? Burke, 7 Days to Die. How is that? Is that game out yet? I see people just pop into that game for like a week, and then they have a great time.
Game's never going to come out, JP.
It gets massive viewership, and then no one plays it, and then somewhere down the line, 6 months, 8 months, people jump back into the game and like, well, that game's still not out. Gets massive viewership.
7 Days to Die, early access game right there on the page.
Yep. Like, why is that never leaving? Is it just because they add to it nonstop? Are they even adding to it? Like, no one knows. Okay,
I have no idea. I think honestly, the question.
I think it's a scope issue.
Yeah,
I think it's one of those. It's one of those situations where the devs, I think, just want it to be like nearly perfect, so they just keep working on it. I don't know if they're following a roadmap. Someone else can maybe help us with that. But
all right,
yeah, we did the Darkness.
I kind of like Project Zomboid
Falls mod. So that was a modded playthrough that we did. So
so there's mods out for it.
Oh yeah. Darkness Falls adds demonic monsters. Like the whole idea is that it's not only is it because 7 Days to Die is like on the 7th day the zombies come for you wherever you live, and you have to fight them off for that single night.
Yeah,
because that's the whole point. 7 days to die, right?
So
the Darkness Falls is like, well, let's just pretend it's a demonic invasion instead. It's not just zombies. You're fighting the forces of hell. That's the whole point of it. So things escalate dramatically on Darkness Falls. It's you're supposed to play it with a large group of people and just get absolutely crazy with the teching up and dealing with threats that just obliterate your entire base.
Got it.
So it just made the game incredibly harder.
Okay. All right.
And I also did. Did you guys? Any of you do the Choo-Choo Charles horror game?
We had Max
Beginning
on.
to end.
Oh yeah, I guess both of you. Yeah, Max was on, and I think everyone kind of talked about it in that moment. I think everyone played it except me. Funny enough, what do you think about it? Good, bad, meh?
I hope he made lots of money, and I hope there's a sequel. It was so derpy and so janky that it was just I was laughing my ass off the entire time I was playing it. So this is so derpy and goofy.
Let's see. I want to look at. I'm looking at Steam Spy to see how it's sold.
Gotta get that pickle.
I would agree with that if it wasn't for the price point. The price point is just fucking ridiculous. They should be ashamed of themselves for that. I think it was $25, if I'm not mistaken.
It's
Choo-Choo Charles is 15 now,
but it's 25% off right now. Yeah,
okay. It was 20, I think.
According to Steam Spy, it has between $20 200,000 and 500,000 owners. So he made some money for sure. Yeah, or the team made some money.
YouTube bait.
It really is. Yeah, that's like 20.
Like a sequel. I'd be happy to see it get a little crazier. Like maybe a 747 comes after you next time or something. I don't know.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Why not, right?
I forgot to mention this in the news. Did you guys? You didn't see what Destiny announced, did you? Where so I have to do some explaining, but it honestly is like the biggest change to Destiny 2 in the history of Destiny 2. They announced that up until the point of now, you had to get armor mods from a vendor within the game. And those armor mods were the only way that you could really like spec out and build a character. Otherwise, you just were kind of like shit. Like you had guns, you could still shoot things, but you didn't have the armor mods that everyone else had, right? So they came out and announced after however long this game's been out that they're just going to give everyone every armor mod. And now I can be like, oh, this is actually playable now. Like, now Bob, who's never played the game, can jump in and actually have a fucking build instead of just like having no guns or having guns, but not having any of the actual build aspects to go along with it.
How would you get the armor mods before?
Every single day. And this is how stupid Destiny was in this regard. And I've bitched about this ad nauseum. Every single day at noon, two NPCs, one of them kind of had the same set of mods, but one of them had all of the mods. And there were 4 mods that every single day would refresh. And it was complete RNG. There was no calendar. There was no rule. There was no reason. There was nothing. It was just 4 new armor mods that you could purchase every day. That was the only way to get mods.
What would you purchase it with?
Like Glimmer in-game, the in-game currency. You can't. Yeah. Just very simple, very easy to come by thing. But it was limited to 4 a day. And that's
just for context, like how many armor mods are there?
Off the top of my head, I want to say at least 50, if not 100. And some of those are rare. Some of those would be like, they would never, 364. There you go. Is how many mods someone in my chat just said. And some of those were so rare that like they had dates. People used DIM, Destiny Item Management, or they had a Twitter account that would tweet those out every single day. Because like for me, for instance, a very common thing that players would do, like myself, the only time you would log into Destiny is if there was an armor mod to get. And you would go in and log in and grab the armor mod and then just close, because if you ever went back to Destiny, you wanted to have all of the rarer mods. And so now they've just said, we're done with this. Everyone's going to have access to every mod. It's kind of a fucking major deal for that game because it was such like a pain point for it. And that happened earlier this week or maybe last week. But
why did they do this?
I think because they realized it sucked. Like it was one of the major complaints about the game for so long. That they, for whatever reason, came out and said, I think
said maybe we shouldn't suck anymore.
Yeah, maybe we should fix this thing that people hate.
Because is this in prep for something? Is this for PR for something?
Lightfall comes out at the end of February. So their like big annual update is Lightfall.
There it is.
In a month.
Okay. Yeah. There it is. So it's to promote an upcoming expansion, basically.
Yeah. But it's
so
wild.
Okay, hold on.
It's wild.
So just
they're revamping the system.
Basic math. If there was four different mods every day for 30 days, just a 30-day month, so that's 120. It would take 3 months to show them all. If you looked every day, it would take, and if they were different every day.
And that's assuming that it moves through the list serially and you don't get duplicates.
And duplicates do happen,
And duplicates do happen. So you could literally go, a half plus year?
There were mods that I still don't have that haven't been posted in like 9 months.
Wow.
And
so it sounds like Chad is saying, so they're giving everyone the mods so they can basically play with all the toys before everything changes when this new expansion comes out.
Did they say that?
They aren't really sure of.
Did chat say if they said that in their blog post? Is that where that's coming from?
Chad is saying that they're revamping that system. So I don't know if have they announced how they're revamping the system or just that they're changing it?
Yeah, that part I didn't get to because I only saw the headline. I was like, cool, I don't have to check Destiny item tracker anymore every day.
Pretty sure it was TWAB and a tweet.
Okay. Yeah, they said they're giving details later. They said that on Twitter. Okay. Got it.
Cool. Okay.
I hope they just like leave them unlocked because it really is a completely different game.
It sounds like they're changing it. So maybe they're going to make it so there's like a new harder system to get them, but it's much more, easy to do it.
I hope so.
To get the ones you want, at least.
Yeah,
that system sounds kind of moronic.
Insane.
Excuse me. That system sounds brilliant. If you want people to have to log in
every day
at random intervals, yeah. I mean, obviously, there's for them, that system may have done exactly what they wanted them to do. It's just not player friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, I remember that came up and just wanted to mention it because I know we have a bunch of Destiny folks that often don't have their game talked about in the most positive way on the show. Zeke, you got CD,
right? Credit where it's due.
Yeah, exactly. Zeke, you got CD Ramathon going on. We'll talk
about.
You got a lot of stuff happening. What's next on the list? I know you're doing Red Alert yesterday. What do you got coming up? What have you selected? Is it polls?
Yep, I told people at the end of the stream yesterday. I did Red Alert. And it's an RTS game, and everybody knows in my channel that RTSs are not normally for me, but I had fun for the day that I played it, but like that's it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do any more than that. Yeah. 1 8-hour stream is fine for an RTS game. And I had fun while I did it. But like if I kept doing it, like I would hate it. I would hate it, and I'd hate chat, and I'd like by the end of that chat, I was yelling at so many people because those RTS games, any RTS game, they bring out. Burke and I were talking about this. They bring out the fucking Monday morning quarterbacks like you would not fucking.
Oh yeah, it does.
I'm gonna ask
worse than any other game I played.
Real quick, a completely unrelated question, nothing to do with what we're talking about, just real fast. For your 100-month sub, can you say the same game someone else has picked?
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks.
You get 1 day, any game, as long as it's not getting against TOS. So if you get a group of people together, you can line up, like a week of the same game if you like.
I think it would be fun if we found a group of people and made them play StarCraft 2, but made them play multiplayer ladder. And he just had to constantly queue every single time.
That would be so mean to do to somebody, man.
Is there an active red alert ladder?
I think they remastered the game recently, so there might be. Yeah,
that's what I was told.
There might be multiplayer for that. Yeah.
I was told that. Obviously, I was told that many times.
Why aren't you playing the remaster?
Why? Well, yeah. Why aren't you playing the remaster? You know this is on Steam, right? It's on GOG.
Just put it as text on your screen.
Oh, that's actually true. We should just do StarCraft 1 because that would be more brutal. Because you can't even it would have the same issues that he had in Red Alert 2. I don't know why I said that so weird. Red Alert 2, where the AI is just not smart. The unit AI in StarCraft is also bad. So we could do that. Something to think about.
Mm. Well, I had fun with it.
Things to ponder.
And you can I'll do anything for a stream. Like for one stream, I can power through any game, even if I hate it, which is totally fine. I will find a way to enjoy it. But in answer to your question, what's next?
Yeah.
Well, if you are easily scared by horror games or anything like that, you might not want to tune into the stream, JP, because coming up on Tuesday. It's my choice because Red Alert was the audience choice. That's what they voted in. My choice for Tuesday. Goosebumps.
Nice.
Escape from Horrorland.
Spooky.
Is that allowed on Twitch?
I want to say it. I think it is. I looked it up. It's not on the banned list. So we're going to be playing Escape from Horrorland. From 1996. DreamWorks.
Fantastic.
Interactive. Yep. And it is a Windows game.
R.L. Stine, man.
It's designed for Microsoft Windows 95. So there will be an install.
I heard that game is the next Are You Afraid of the Dark?
It might be. It might be. You never know.
Those are some big words, man. Big words.
A lot of weight there.
Yeah. Cody, I know you've been playing a bunch of stuff as well. Oh, Zeke, what were we gonna say?
No, I was just gonna say like how much fun it's been to do this every year. Like,
we're gonna check in.
Absolutely love it.
Talk about it for sure.
And it's fucking like I was talking about this as well. Like when I was installing a game, 2,400 people got the game working. 16.
Well, look,
chat, real quick. Goosebumps is a kids novel series. I was kidding about it being banned on Twitch. So many people in chat. Why would it be banned? Why would it be banned? Is there nudity?
Unfortunately, R.L. Stine has gotten really, really, really controversial lately, so they banned all of his stuff on Twitch. Yeah. Now people will really start to wonder. What's happening. He's welcome for that.
Said some things on Twitter though.
Yeah, you go R.L. Stine, man. Jesus, can't believe
that Twitter gets you every time.
I
think you're thinking of the parody Poos Bumps.
Maybe so. Cole, I was gonna say you've been playing a bunch of stuff. Chained Echoes, where are you at with it right now?
Oh my god, dude. Where am I at with Chained Echoes? I am at the stage where I wish I would have played it last year because I feel like my top 10 would have been different.
Did you hit Act 1? Or sorry, Act 2?
I just got Morobit. That's where I am in the game. I literally just went through last night. I was drinking and I got to the robot part. And I got like through those like 10 screens, like talking about how it works. And I was just like, I have drink.
Yeah, that tutorial's kind of long.
Oh my God, dude. Like, but no, I'm having a great time with it. It's awesome. Very cool twists and turns. It is a great game. So that's been my cozy game. I beat Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. So nice. I'm ready to move on to the Baldur's Gate DLC, which I've never done before. Thrown a ball. Looking forward to returning to that. Also been playing Life is Strange. My first run ever. I just got done with the 4th or 5th episodes today.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Like I know that was a charity thing, but like we always
it was a charity reward.
Like that.
I'm I'm not into teen dramas.
Okay.
But and I'm also not into that time period really. But the story has been, relatively engaging. And what's kind of funny is we've been kind of like calling it nearly shot for shot as it's been going on, which has been kind of fun. The rewind mechanics kind of cool to explore stuff, and it's entertaining. I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. But my initial opinion of this isn't really my kind of game is still quite there. It's not a Persona 5 situation where it's like, I didn't think this was my kind of game, and then I tried it, and it's like, holy shit, this is definitely my type of game. Not that.
Okay.
I didn't think it was going to be that good, and it's better than I thought, but it's still not my kind of game. So, I'm not going to be going on and playing like 2, 3 in True Colors or anything. I'm gonna finish this. That was the goal, and we're good to move on.
Okay.
Outside of that, I think there was a couple more games I played. What are the games we played, chat? I got Zero Sievert, playing that tomorrow. Looking forward to that. That's the pixel arty single player Escape from Tarkov game.
Okay.
That looks kind of fun. Oh! I played a game called Ravenborn.
Raven what? Sorry, you cut off at the end.
Ravenborn.
Born.
I think. No, not Ravenborn. Raven. Hold on. I always mess the name up. Ravenbound. Thank you, Ravenbound. It is an open world roguelite action RPG. It actually kind of works. It's a card based open world action RPG. So you basically it's coming soon. The devs gave us an early look. It wasn't sponsored, and I actually had a great time with it. I played it for like 3 hours, and it's really cool. Every time you play, like your weapons, your armor, your passives, all that stuff, you get like randomly in cards. So it's very roguelite-y. And then you die, and there's like a meta unlock system where you get more cards and more variations and more races to choose from. And then kind of like in Rogue Legacy, you kind of have some random heroes to pick from at the beginning to then possess, and then you play that person. And it's to your advantage to then go out and like beat the bosses all again.
Weird.
Yeah, it sounds weird, but it works. The music was cool. The world was huge. And the whole mechanic is that you can turn into a raven whenever you want. So it's like you can land and like kill some mobs and get some cards and stuff. And then you can just like go to a nearby tower and take off again as a raven and fly wherever you want and stuff. And it was cool, man. Like I think this game is going to be a lot of fun. I'm definitely going to be doing a full playthrough when it comes out.
All right.
It was a very nice little thing there.
What?
Whose turn is it? Okay, I'll go first. Next game is going to be a open world roguelite. Raven, what the fuck? Who put this in there?
That's
Chuck,
a weird one.
Pretty much.
Very funny, Chuck.
That's a weird one. Well,
hey, Chuck should get a promotion because it works.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, hey, we got to go. We're going to wrap it there. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about next week between CD-ROMathon, everything that me and Co are playing. And Rami's going to be joining us. Old Rami.
Oh, cool.
Be back. Rami is my oldie step.
Our now pilot Rami.
Yeah.
Do we call it? Is it like a Sir system? Like, does he get like? Do we call him Mr. Rami? Like, how does a
We're gonna have to ask him. It might
Captain.
be
Captain
yeah.
Rami. There we go. Okay,
might be
great.
Captain Rami.
I like it.
Yeah.
Captain Rami.
He'll be joining us, chatting about stuff. We'll find something to talk about, I'm sure. But that's gonna do it for today's episode. Co, why don't you start us off? I know you got to get out of here.
Absolutely, I do. Big thanks as always to JP and Z. Huge thank you to Burke for taking the time. I know this is not his normal time slot, so we very much appreciate you getting up a little early today to join us. My name is Co. Coming up this week, like I said, we have Zero Sievert. We're going to be finishing Life is Strange, more Chained Echoes. After Chained Echoes, we'll probably start bringing back some TOB. And also, if we have time, which I think we do, I think it's time to start our Stalker franchise run. I think we're going to start with Shadows of Chernobyl. In fact, if you are somebody who follows me on Twitter, I'm going to be putting a tweet up asking for mod recommendations. I want to make sure all the vanilla content is there, but like things to make it look good, things to change things very lightly. I don't want a lot of gameplay tweaks, but any suggestions you have, be sure to reply to that tweet or send me a Discord PM or a whisper. All that's open. And let me know what mods you think we should use on our Shadows of Chernobyl run. We also have Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Going to be doing some of that soon as well to get ready for the next one that comes out soon. So a lot of games coming. We're starting to get to the good gaming part. We got Engage as well. We're going to be playing. So see you all for that. You can find me at my channel. If I don't see you then, I'll see you here next week on Drop Frames.
Awesome stuff. Thanks so much, Zeke. Do some shout outs.
And I'm out of here. Bye, everybody.
What up, everybody?
Bye.
Oh, see you, Co.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
What up?
Sorry. Trying to rename scenes.
Just upstage. What the fuck, dude?
All right. Thanks, Zeke. Go ahead, Burke.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Burke for being our guest today. Good to see you again, my friend. Thank you to Cohen JP for being my co-host, and thank you guys for watching. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at /Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, and Ezekiel the Third, all spelled out, on Instagram and TikTok. I'm in the midst of CD-ROM-a-thon. I'm doing CD-ROM games the entire month of January, and this is my fifth year doing it, and it's just been a blast. Next up, like we said, is going to be Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland. And then after we do that, it's your choice. So come over to the channel and vote on what you want to see next. We got a nice long list. You can vote for as many as you want and change your vote at any time. Thanks for watching.
Fantastic. The reason I was doing that is because the shoutouts are currently Golden Boy's scene, and this is Gerard's scene. I was going to relabel them, but when you right-click in OBS, it changes the scene. Anyways, now that you've heard this completely unnecessary information, Burke, please do some shoutouts. What do you got going on?
Well, first, thanks for inviting me to draw frames to all of you. This is don't worry about me getting up. Like I'll do this anytime. I have an absolute blast with you guys every time. This week, I know I already told you I would do that World War II rebuilder. We're probably gonna do that Monday, and that might last for a significant amount of time because it looks like it has a lot of content to it. But I know that other than Eco, which is on the 22nd, I'm going to be doing which is a game that I thought would be controversial if I brought up, but I'm going to be doing Star Citizen.
Whoa!
With Smashley and Mitachi.
We told you not to mention that. That's on the banned drop frame list of words. Burke, Jesus.
I know, it always, every time you talk about that game, it always triggers chat, you know? But like, we're doing a 50 versus 50. We have our community involved, and it is some of the best gaming I have ever done.
Whoa.
Of having these epically planned battles in Star Citizen. It is insane, and you should definitely check it out when we do it on Thursday at 8 o'clock.
How much money to view the stream?
$10,000.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. I'm out. I'm out. Yeah.
That's the low bar of entry, okay? If you want the AAA VIP package, that's going to be at least 20 grand right there, buddy.
My ad incentive offer wasn't high enough this month. I'm going to have to miss out on that one. Yeah. Also, I like how, for some reason, Koaz, like, he did a funny face for me, but on this one, he's just frozen.
It's frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of like that. Doesn't keep the last frame anymore.
He looks like he's right before he does the karate match pose.
Yeah. That's what it looks like. Yeah.
Or bow, whatever.
That's him. That's the face Ko makes when you bring up Star Citizen. He cracks his knuckles and he has a slight aneurysm. And he's just ready to scream. I was debating like if I should bring it up or not, because I was like, I knew it would cause a big debate. I was looking at the clock and I was time is ticking down. Yeah, it would definitely be talked about. But it's not as bad as bringing up Warhammer. That's just a cardinal sin now. We're gonna have to ban that from the show. No more Warhammer. You get once a year.
Talking about, man.
All those
we could talk about Warhammer. What do you want to talk about? You want to discuss anything?
Too many books.
I'm ready.
Too many books.
Not enough.
I'm waiting for Burke to open his jacket. He's like, you want blisters, homie? I got blisters right here. I got blisters. Blister packs right here. They're all Peter, 100% Peter, homie.
And stuff in his jacket. And on this side, it's all just like Space Marines and nonsense. Yeah.
Wait till you see what's in my cabinets.
I don't want to see what's in there. Okay, it's just plastic money, overpriced. Let's not insult an entire fan base. Because then they'll just be like, well, JP, what about your statues? And I'll say, yeah, those have value because they're cool.
Hey, Horus is pretty cool.
Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you next week, unless you don't tune in for those comments. We're out here. Burke, thanks so much for being on. We're out here. Have a good one. Bye-bye.